Just got it going. All right. So just live. Let me check here real quick. Oh, what the fuck? All right. All right, we got it. We good. It must have been the server, but it's good. It's live now. All right, cool. All right, we got it. We good. Let me turn this down. There's something going on with the server. I don't know. I've never seen no shit like that. All right, let me send her the link again. All right, we're up and running. Got the chat. Something was fucking going on. All right, let me just send her the link again. We're good. Everything up and running.
Hello?
Oh, all right, I got you. There you go. I'm gonna hang up. It's good now. We're good.
All right, good.
All right, greetings, people. That was some crazy shit. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, so real quick, let me just do a brief introduction before I bring you in after all that confusion that was going on there. We apologize for that. So we want to welcome everybody that's listening on Primordial Chaos Radio on TalkShoe. We want to welcome everybody that's watching live on YouTube. We have a special guest this evening. I see everybody piling back in. You should see the live chat coming up. Again, when you do come in to ask questions, when we give you the call number, make sure you don't have two devices on because you will get an echo. If you have two devices on, it picks up the other device. So make sure you have extra devices in the background muted. If you come in live later to speak to Priestess, make sure your background noise is minimal. And again, if you're not speaking, put on the mute button. Very important. All right. I hear some noise. I don't know who that's from. All right, go on. All right. So we want to welcome everybody to the show. Does somebody have a second device on? Because I don't hear.
My phone's on mute. It's not me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. We have a special guest with us this evening. I know we've been putting it out there for a few weeks. A lot of you have been emailing, seeing the feeds, etc. on this. So I want to welcome to the show Priestess Auset. If you could briefly give an introduction and a background to yourself before we begin, more so for people that may not be familiar with your work and who you are and what it is you do.
Okay, my name is Priestess Auset. I am a metaphysical practitioner, and I have been an occultist for about 35 years. I practice several spiritual systems. I'm a Luciferian Obeah. Obeah is a practitioner that practices Obeah from Jamaica. I'm originally from Jamaica, been here for about 35 years. And my spiritual practice basically is about empowering women to reclaim their spiritual birthrights. Okay. And some men, I do teach some men. Right.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to touch on that in a minute, the male-female thing in a minute.
Right.
But I appreciate you giving that. And again, we put the link to your channel out there. I know some of the viewers here have checked out your videos and your channels, and I know they're going to have some questions for you when we get to the question portion. All right, but let's do the male-female thing. And Raven, if you have any questions, my co-host Raven is here. If she got any questions, she's going to ask you some questions also. Let's talk about the male-female thing. I want to talk briefly about the female's role, quote unquote, on the path of the occult, left-hand path, path of self-mastery, whatever different titles we give it. I know we briefly had a conversation about this a couple of times, just briefly. The one thing that kind of, I think, gets stereotyped, unfortunately, like other systems of spirituality is it's always with the female aspect that, you know, it strictly deals with sexual energy, or they identify exclusively with Kali and Lilith, but there's only that one aspect of connection, and I think there's too much focus on this female energy thing, where I think it takes away from, in my opinion, somebody like yourself, because your videos are well rounded. You touch on everything. We don't have a lot of that, unfortunately, amongst the, you know, females, and I know there's plenty out there capable of doing it, but I think they get sucked into that, you know, that feminine goddess slash mode. Can you elaborate and build on that from your perspective?
Well, the reality is a lot of females that I see running around with this whole sex magic thing, it really still is an aspect of stemming from patriarchy, of wanting the recognition from the males, okay?
Right.
And so what they see, women, our womb is our second mind, our second brain.
Right.
And if they are truly connected into the divine feminine, this whole sex magic thing is not about rampant promiscuity.
Right.
That's number one. You know, it's not about, you know, it's not about devaluing yourself so that you can receive the attention of males. Basically, the left-hand path is about the strength and the will of the practitioner.
Right.
Sex magic, you know, if we study ancient cultures, because see, you got to go back to patriarchy. A lot of stuff have been put in the occult. Excuse me. Our ancient ancestors were not promiscuous because they understood very clearly the transference of energy. I mean, this shit is real, you
Right.
know? And I hear this term being thrown around, sacred prostitution. First of all, there is no sacred prostitution. Let's keep that shit real, okay? Because priestesses in the temple were not lounging around waiting for random ass men to come in to have sex to heal them. You know, and this also begins with the demonization of Lilith.
Right.
Okay, a lot of women running around, I'm Lilith this, I'm Lilith that. But remember, Lilith was also demonized by patriarchy because she was basically an independent woman who would not submit and become a second-class citizen to men, to copulate against her will. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that has been done in this, and I don't want, this is not about male versus female.
Correct.
But understand the beginning when you go back to the Gilgamesh epics of Tiamat and the male gods, you know, orchestrating this war to overthrow the divine feminine, and therefore, you know, usurping her power to supplant themselves in these positions. And over the century, there has been so much, and I see women still riding with that. I'm gonna give you a brief example. I'm not gonna call her name because I'm really a fan of her books. But she wrote about Tiamat.
Okay.
And in the book, it was you know, Tiamat is supposed to be the mother of all filth and abomination.
Right.
Now, how do you as a woman working with Tiamat saying that Tiamat is the mother of filth and abomination? Because see, that's coming from patriarchy conditioning. So I'm wondering who the fuck you really tapping into when you say you tapping it, because I ain't never seen that tapping in. You understand? And they are truly tapped in, you know, as opposed to doing, I don't even want to use the word shamalama ding dong, because we can do shamalama ding dongs and it'll work. But a lot of these people are doing shamalama ding dongs, you know what I'm saying, and are not truly plugged into this frequency. Right. It is a frequency.
That's right.
Right. So, yeah.
No, I'm glad you stressed, you know, it's not a male female thing. And that's my whole point of bringing it up, because what I'm trying to get people, this, the reasons why I reached out to you and wanted to really get you on the show, was because your focus is not just on that. Even though, like you say, as a female, you know, something teaching females, but like I said, if you look at your content, your, you know, what you do, you're well-rounded in some other areas. And I only that majority of the sisters that you run into that are teaching or dealing with this, it's that one-sided aspect of what you were just talking about.
Right.
Flip to, we had talked about this, and I know let's explain this. From your experience and from what you do, the difference between right-hand path and left-hand path, what information would you give them? How would you guide them? And how would you explain?
Right. And see, to me, the difference between the right-hand path will be between the Sumerian or Babylonian goddess Ina and Erishkigal. Okay? Because I always approach everything from a spiritual perspective as opposed to the esoteric so-called meaning. Because the Satanists have a different meaning, Luciferians have a different meaning. The Thelma group with Aleister Crowley and Madame Blavatsky and them had a different meaning. But see, to me, the left-hand path is the path of the shadow self, the unconscious, okay? This is the realm where you go to face your fears. This is the realm where you go and you cast off the indoctrinations of Christianity, societal, you understand? Family, whatever. And you embrace the divine feminine in all her aspects, okay? Light and dark. While the right-hand path is they're more focused on the light worker aspect, so to speak, you know? And there's a myth because it's saying the light worker aspect is supposed to be the good aspect. Well, I know plenty of light workers that are completely unbalanced and can hide behind that light to do great damage.
That's right.
On the left-hand path, you cannot disguise yourself because if you go deep into the cavern of the cage where it's pitch black, all I'm going to see is a light emanating at the top of your head. That's going to show me who exactly you are. You cannot mask that.
That's right.
And you go there and you are naked and you confront all your fears. And this is where the power lies. You know what I'm saying? Where you can be yourself. You are not, right-hand path is more as an acceptance of society, you know, because there's so much fear around the occult.
That's right.
Left-hand path, you embrace every aspect of yourself.
Okay, so now you mentioned something that's something we really need to get into. We talk about doing work on yourself, the shadow self, left-hand path, being that representation of fixing your bullshit, right? We always talk about on the show, you got to address, I mean, everybody pats themselves on the back about their strengths, and that's a great thing. But one thing that we all come to the reality on this path, we deal with all the messed up shit about ourselves, some of our shortcomings, some of the issues we got.
Right.
And I know in some of your videos, you talk about, you know, you'll reference it sometimes as healing work, doing healing work, getting yourself right. And you discuss in detail, that's not always a pleasant thing. So in your experience with yourself, building, teaching, working with others, you know, what's your advice on that? How would you prepare somebody who is getting ready to take that journey, do that internal work on themselves? What should they expect or prepare, and how can they not fall for the fuckery and the illusions? That's the key.
Right. Well, one of the first things is to get to know themselves. I am a big advocate of the first thing is somebody needs to obtain a copy of their astrological chart and their numerology. And the reason I say that is this is your blueprint you came back here with. You know what I'm saying? Right. Where is your moon? You know, where is your Saturn? Your Saturn is the lessons that you come here to learn. You understand what I'm saying? What is an opposition in your chart? What is a square? What is a conjunction? These are the obstacles that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And so once you learn that, like, let's take the 7th house. Now, the 7th house is the house that's ruled over by Libra. And this is the house of marriage, relationships, business contract. Now, if you got Pisces in that house, Pisces is pretty much an energy in that house. It's not a strong energy. It can mean that you're wishy-washy. You tend to be a captain save a host, stay in dysfunctional ass relationship. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be the type that get taken advantage of in business. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not using proper discernment.
Right.
You understand? So they have to know their strength and their weaknesses. Well, once you know that, and even in your sixth and your ninth house, which are your house of magic, the
Right.
sixth house dealing with the energy of Virgo. You know what I'm saying? That Mercurian energy. And your ninth house, that's ruled over by Sagittarius and Jupiter. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's esoteric knowledge. So depending on what's in those houses, that should be pretty much the path you need to be on. Whether you need to be studying the Kabbalah, you need to be doing voodoo, hoodoo, you know, Kemetic, you know what I'm saying? It is all there. And people just don't take the time to really investigate. And then what happens is they jump off into the occult and they're all over the place practicing, and they never really truly get to their own magic. It's like the cartoon, the Avatar. You might be a firebender, I might be a waterbender. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
This is the way the system works.
Okay.
You know, and even with Satanism, because I find like even spiritual Satanism, it has a lot of the tenets that resonates with me.
Sure.
As opposed to the regular Satanism. You understand? And there are levels to these paths. You understand? So when people come on, the first thing to do, when people, you know, they contact me for a reading, like, oh, I want to know, listen, I don't even want to talk to you until you have obtained your natal chart. And then the numerology is going to tell me, what are the karmic debts that you're working off?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What are the lessons you come back here with? I know in my numerology, some of the lessons I came back here was 2, 6, and 7. Well, 7 deals with your spirituality. I'm ace in that. Number 6, well, you know, maybe a C minus with my children, family, and the dust up. Number 2, okay, that's an epic failure. You know, that deals with relationship, being tactful, you know what I'm saying, and all that shit. I get a big letter F minus. So I'm still working on that aspect. You understand? So you have to know yourself. This is why it was always stressed in mystery school. Know thyself.
That's right.
Before you even begin.
Correct. Raven, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I got my co-host Raven here. I don't know if you can hear me. You're connected now. Got you connected. So is there anything you want to ask at the moment? Can you hear me? Hold on. I think I got her muted. Hold on 1 second. Let me unmute her. Raven, can you hear me? Hold on 1 sec. She's here, but I don't know if I might. All right, maybe she having. Hold on. I know she had some questions for you also. Can you hear me? All right, hold on. She typing. All right, but no, anyway, we'll continue.
One thing I wanted to add.
Sure, go ahead.
Also, dreams, okay? I've recommended over the years people keep a dream journal because there's a lot of messages that come through in dreams.
That's
and see, with me having a moon in Scorpio, I like to penetrate the hidden depths. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I am. You know, I like to investigate the deeper, darker side.
Right.
You know? So there, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of people, things have already come to them in the way of totem animals, dreams, you know what I'm saying? Numbers that keep repeating themselves. What is the messages the universe is trying to show you? Or the ancestral dreamscape realm. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all part of the awakening.
Okay. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get her unmuted. I don't know why she muted. Hold on. Try it now. She keeps saying, I don't know why. You might want to check. You might have yourself muted because I don't have you muted. There we go. You're clear now. Can you hear me? Raven, can you hear me? You're clear now. It's unmuted. All right, it's clear. Hold on, let me check you unmuted. All right, we'll wait for her to come in. We'll just keep going, but it's unmuted. I don't know what happened. All right. Well, now I know you mentioned Obeah earlier and being from Jamaica. I mean, I do some work with Papa Bones Can you talk a little bit about that? And I want to talk about that, and I know there's connections with that, with aspects of Ifa, voodoo, etc.
Mhm.
But on this path, myself personally, being initiated in them things and kind of now moving to a different level, I don't really deal with it anymore on the traditional level.
Right.
So my question to you is, how do you incorporate that in your work? Because I know you deal with it. I know you talk about it in videos, working either with the Orishi or working with the Loa, or working, let's say, with aspects of, Obeah, Papa Bones, things of that nature. How do you incorporate that?
Well, first of all, Obeah is like an ancestral path that's pretty much that comes down through the bloodline. Those people that had the practitioners are usually awakened via dreams. You know what I'm saying? Or rituals are given to them, like with hoodoo. I remember
Right.
years ago reading some books by Hyatt that Catherine Ronwood, and did some interviews and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they were, Hyatt went around asking various hoodoo practitioners, well, how did you come into your power? And it was like, well, one day I just woke up and all this stuff started coming to me. It's the same thing with Obeah. And see, the thing with Obeah, it is a left-hand path in that it doesn't depend on like Ifa, Paulo, or voodoo, a pantheon of gods. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Correct.
It's really working within nature, with nature spirits, with
Correct.
ancestral energy, the darker energies. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And really it's within you. It's within you. You know what
Correct.
I'm saying?
Right.
And so if it comes down in your bloodline where you're waking from these dreams, and if you're open and can accept that, well, all you do is you incorporate it. You know what I'm saying? In
Uh-huh.
your daily practice. Like, if you have to go into court to beat a traffic ticket,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to petition certain energies before you go in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even with divination, calling up certain energies to help you with divinations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Having a connection with Mother Nature. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because that's very, very important, because nature has millions of entities.
Correct.
You understand, within nature that we can work with, but you have to be connected to that realm. So, it is different, but it's similar. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to like Paulo, Santeria, Ifa, and Voodoo. The only thing is, like with Obeah, you really do not need a pantheon of gods.
That's correct, and I'm glad you broke that down, because it's a path really that the practitioner kind of got to learn. It's
Right.
not really a set structure, and I think some people. I did some videos on that a month or two ago, and that's what people I think get confused with Obeah, and I'm glad you clarified that, because they try to, even though, like you said, there's similarities to voodoo, even some aspects of Paulo and dealing with the Orishi, but in essence, it appears that way, but you really got to find your own way when dealing with Obeah. And to me, that's one thing that makes it unique. So what I want to talk about a little bit about that before we move on from that. They, in Obeah, they'll some will say Papa Bones is a manifestation of the true, Prince of Darkness. Or what some might call, Satan, the devil, or
Right.
some might say in ancient Egypt, dealing with Heka, Egyptian black magic, Set. Um, do you incorporate any of that aspect in, or do you do any work with invoking Papa Bones, etc.?
No, well, I have never invoked Papa Bones. I have invoked like Dutty Bolkman, the Jamaican Obeah man that they threw out of Jamaica and sent into Haiti because he was doing a lot of rebellion. And we also
Right.
have like Nanny from the Maroon that
Uh-huh.
came over. You know what I'm saying? Um, we invoke that. We also have it, basically you can invoke whatever you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah, and really with one of the books that we use in Obeah is the Key of Solomon, the
Right.
Clavicula Salmonal, this book, the Key of Solomon, the Clavicula Salomonis. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
use that, and we use the 6 and 7 books of Moses, and often
That's correct.
it entails making pacts with various spirit entities, or using in tranquil spirits. There's a lot of spirit trafficking that's done in Obeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
Right, using those kinds of spirits to carry out your aims.
Correct. Now, let me ask you a question, because I know you talked about, you even just mentioned a minute ago about nature spirits, ancestral spirits. Have you ever done any work like in the forest and in nature, like pinning
Oh yeah,
spirit?
all the time. Oh yeah, all
Okay.
the time.
Talk a little bit about
The
it.
dwarf spirits. You know what I'm saying? The dwarf spirits. And unbeknownst to people, because when I found out I had even a jinn that I inherited from my father's bloodline, you
Mm,
know,
mm.
um, it was just wild to me. And these things I picked up in nature. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, I'm somewhere and I smell like like cigarettes, heavy cigarette
Mm,
smoke. I remember one time walking into a spiritualist shop, and she supposedly had her stuff decorated, dressed, nobody can come in. And I walk in and shit was being set on fire. And I'm like, oh, that's just my gin. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
So this is the energy of working with nature. You pick up different spirits. A lot of those dwarf spirits, you know what I'm saying, follow
Correct.
you. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And if you decide to work with them, well, they're who you would work with to carry out whatever it is that you need to get done.
That's correct. And I'm glad all right. I'm glad you clarified that. Now, my experience with it back in, New York, I knew a lot of people from the Caribbean, Trinidad, Jamaica, and they, a lot of them hide behind the guise of Shango Baptiste.
Oh
Or
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of majority. I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them that lay claim to that. But one thing that's always been intriguing about Obeah, it's one of those paths that, to this day, in my opinion, there's not a lot of information out there on it. There's not a lot of books. Uh,
No.
I
There
don't,
was one book that was written by D. Lawrence, but I really give him the side eye. It's called the Obeah Bible. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
really, there's very little Obeah in it. It's mostly East Indian magic. You know what I'm
correct.
saying? Which is very powerful in itself. But see, first of all, Obeah was outlawed in Jamaica.
That's
You
right.
understand? And the reason, and it's a very secretive society, because even my father, well, he's made his transition as his mother of his father. My whole patriarchal bloodline is off this planet, so I can talk about this freely. But he hid behind Rastafarianism, because there are three sects of Rasta. You got the 12 tribe, the Nyabingi, and the Bobo Shanti. Well, the Nyabingi, there's some of them that practice the Obeah. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Because it comes down the bloodline, it really transforms people. An Obeah man or an Obeah woman, you're not going to find them in the populace like that. You really got to seek them out. And they're oftentimes in isolated places. And even when you go into Obeah, you really you have to fight the transformation, so you don't look like that chick on Pirates of the Caribbean, that crazy looking witch. Because it really does transform you. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? And you have to be like, well, because it's such an ancient path that it's like, okay, in this incarnation, I got to still go to parent teachers meeting and conference and shit. And even though I would like to go with a staff and a robe and shit, you know what I'm saying? And with my dreadlocks looking all wild and crazy, I have to present myself a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So it transforms you. And the reason why there's not a lot written on it, because the adherence of it, it's a small sect. The adherence of it, they take blood oath. Because
Correct.
I have there's somebody from my mother's hometown, Robert Laramie, that writes some books on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Mm-hmm.
put a bounty on his head, and
Right.
he
Right.
had to go underground. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because it was so ostracized in Jamaica, it was so feared. They pretty much were driven underground.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Now I know the reason why I was asking about Papa Bones, because some of the work that I've done with it, it's a very intense energy. And when I first started doing it, when it actually, some of the effects, now I know it varies working with different energies, but it can be overwhelming. I mean, I remember when I first started doing it, it can actually kind of feel a little bit sick at first, just by the
Okay.
intensity or the level, of the energy, but not in a bad way. You know what it is. I have a reason why I was asking that, because, I've heard stories in certain circles where, that's backfired on some people. What I mean backfired is,
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's not an energy to really fuck with if mentally
No.
you're not ready. So that's why I was asking that.
And see, here's the thing: these kind of paths magnify what's already in you. And this
Say that
is
again.
why
Say that again for people that missed that. Say that again.
it
Just repeat.
magnifies the energy that's already in you, positive or
Right.
negative. This is
Right.
why, no shade to anybody, but just saying, the recent death of Amachi Petor that went over into Benin and got initiated and came back and
Yes.
died. You understand?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing these kinds of work, you really go to the depths of the underworld. You really are going to the seat of that dark, divine, primordial energy, Tiamat, that she's called the great dragon. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah.
And this is a realm that many people fear to tread, but some will tread. But if your heart is not right, now listen, this don't mean you got to be perfect, because you can drink your liquor, eat your fucking whatever, cuss, swear, but your
Right.
heart have to be right. You understand? Your heart have to be right, meaning you're not coming out of these systems trying to prey on people. You're not going to be a
Exactly.
spiritual predator. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be out here being a financial parasite and a spiritual vampire. You understand? Because one thing about these kinds of paths, you really cannot commercialize it.
There
You
you
know
go.
what I'm saying? You can try, but it's going to be watered down,
That's
because
right.
there's an aspect of it that really it cannot be commercialized. And listen, it don't mean that these people don't get paid for their service. They
Mm-hmm.
get paid. But
Right.
understand that they are not going to be out there like that.
Correct. I appreciate it. Raven, you have some questions for Priestess?
Oh no, I just and I'm sorry if y'all couldn't hear me earlier. Good evening, Priestess.
Good
Just
evening.
wonderful to it's just wonderful to hear you. Just piggybacking on a couple of things that has already been addressed. What if someone, because you raised a good point about getting to know themselves through their natal chart. And if I understand the natal charts correctly, do you absolutely need to know your time of birth?
Well, no. See, here's the thing. Well, it would be nice, but some people genuinely don't know. And if you don't know, then that's fine. You just do the regular chart and it'll give you like your sun sign, your moon, your Mercury, your Venus, you know what I'm saying? Your Jupiter, which
Mm-hmm.
is where your money is. And you can pretty much build around that.
Mm. Mm. That's an excellent
Okay.
point.
Okay, that's interesting. It's something I've been was wanting to do, but I always thought that you had to just know your date of birth. And my mom ain't just me. She ain't trying to think about that. She's not
Right.
trying to think about that. But also just to piggyback on the Obeah as well. Um my stepfather's from Jamaica, and
Right.
I've heard the and my husband as well heard the murmurings of it, of
Oh,
the
yeah. The rooms
Papa
of good
Bones.
practitioners.
Yeah, yeah. But when y'all were just speaking, and it just almost I went instantly back there again, because you also mentioned something about how your dreams help you, direct you
Hmm.
on this path. And I did I don't think I really just did it. I was listening to Benini talk about Papa Bones. He did an invocation, as he just stated. And from that moment, it's been quite interesting, to say the least. You know what it almost feels like? And I was talking to my older brother, as if we have to do a DNA test, because I have been approached, not just because I don't, as you can see, this is how I speak. I'm really American. You wouldn't even notice that from 5th grade. I've been raised pretty much as if I come from Jamaica, you know. People ask me, is that true? Jamaicans will ask me, am I from Jamaica? You know what I mean? I would get that question a lot, and has always kind of puzzled me. Why would they would think that? I don't look like it. I don't talk like it. I don't behave. What gives them that sense that I'm from there? And then when we went to learning about Papa Bones, and I had a conversation with my older brother, and he's had a similar experience spiritually regarding a Jamaican man. I just find it interesting that you can, your dreams will lead you, or certain things will lead you on the path to which way you need to go, that the spirit will pretty much call to you, I guess.
Right.
Is that the best way?
Yeah, because like even the people in voodoo and Obeah, like let me share with you like a dream. Like dreaming about these women that used to come to me when I was younger, dressed in all white with head wrap with a lot of like eleki beads. And they will come to me, take me in a cemetery and put me in a crypt and say, go deal with the ancestors. We'll come back to you in the morning. And then what would happen in the dream, they come back for me in the morning while I'm in the crypt now. They're drumming and dancing, doing rituals. In the morning, in the dream, they come for me and they take me to the ocean. And then they baptize me. And then they dress me in all white, wrap my head in white, put on the beads. And they hand me this enamel cup with this really nasty foul herb to drink. And then after I drink it, they said, now you walk with us. And I join a procession of people dressed in all white. When you talk to people like with voodoo and stuff, these are some of the dreams that they had where those ancestors in their bloodline that were practitioners come to them. You know what I'm saying? On that astral realm to do their initiation. Now, once that portal opens up, you're going to start getting rituals, which you need to write down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you want to seek out a qualified, because unfortunately on this path, 99% of the people are just out to just be
take your coins. Take your coins.
And it's a bunch of fuckery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. What I want, and well, one thing before I back up, what you basically just described, like, and I know you're using that dream as an example.
Right.
You basically just described, and I know Raven can relate to this. That's pretty much how I come up with the rituals, because we do something once a month here, and that's pretty much how they come to me. They just, that's how they just come via a similar method. And that's what I'm trying to get people to see is when you start to connect and tap in, because I want to back up. I'm bringing that up because when we were talking a few minutes back about doing, to me, none of the shit works until you fix all the shit you need to get right about yourself. Because I mentioned all that stuff earlier about people will come right on this path and they'll go start doing this intense shit, but they ain't even fixed or do any of the work they need to get right about themselves. And I think that's where the disconnect comes in and all the bullshit. So I want to elaborate a little bit more that when people first coming on this path, give some suggestions and tips. Where should they begin? I get a lot of emails about this. What book should I start reading? What should I start doing? Because I've seen the mistakes so many times. People just go to some intense shit and it tends to fuck them up more. So
what they need to do is like whatever path it is that you're coming on. Let's just say you're going into Satanism and you are indoctrinated in Christianism. Well, you really got to do some work to remove that indoctrination from your mind. Right. Otherwise, you're going to come to Satanism or whatever path with all kind of fuckery, with all kind of preconceived notion. Before you even deal with a spiritual path, you really need to emancipate yourself from this mental slavery. Because really what it was enslaving your mind in religion. And religion in itself is not a bad thing because it did come from us, but it was perverted and used as a tool to control. Right. You understand? And see, here is the thing. Until you have completely exited that matrix mentally, then really when you go in any systems, it's not going to work for you. This is why people say, well, I do rituals to myself and it never worked, because you probably have skipped the steps. There are levels to this. You got
okay, levels.
Huh?
Yes, levels. I agree.
Yeah, there's levels to it. You got to work on your fear, number one. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got this fear of this being called Satan with horns in his head that's going to stick you in your ass with a pitchfork, then listen, don't even bother with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you fear the occult, you know what I'm saying? Like I often tell people, now, I don't give a shit what somebody is working with. Once you have done your work, can't nobody touch you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit what they're working with. Once you have activated your force fields and done your work thoroughly, nobody can come for you. You know what I'm saying? They can try, but it's going to be like little spitballs. You understand? So people, it's like this path is like really going into the military. You got to go through the boot camp phase of it.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Yep.
You have to go through that phase of working on yourself, working on your fears, removing any kind of family indoctrination. Who are you? Who are you at the core of who you are? You know what I'm saying? Because this path, and I hate to say it, but this path is not for the cool people. You know what I'm saying? This path
okay.
is eccentric. You know what I'm saying? This path is for the people who truly can embrace every aspect of themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Facts,
That's right.
facts, facts.
I'm
Thank
glad
you for
you're
saying all of that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because this is just not to cut you off, Benini, but thank you, because as you were speaking, all I can see is, and all I can say to myself is thank you, thank you, thank you, because that's exactly how I ended here. That's exactly how my transformation has been. It hasn't been no pretty, lovely, sightful thing. It has been work. It has been fucking work. And
Yes.
it is work to get that indoctrination about your head, about your system, at your body, from family,
Oh yeah.
government,
Biggest test.
school,
That's your biggest test.
everything. And it is fucking work. And people, and this is why sometimes I get a little heated. And Priestess all said, I only been doing this what, about 2-3 years. But you have to you have to be built for it, as you were saying.
Oh
And if
yeah.
you're not built for it, it's not for you, because it's gonna shake your foundation. You're gonna have to build that shit all over again. But it's for the best.
It is.
And people miss that glorious part. I think that's the best part. Yeah, you may do a little magic, do a little what, and it works for you. Cool. But it's gonna come a point, I just feel, where you either gonna have to, as you said, level up, step to the next phase, or just fall the fuck back.
Exactly.
Correct. And something you said, Priestess, the reason why I'm glad you broke that down, because I see so many people that have come from different, look, you know, your past, it should be a learning tool and experience, but you hit something on the head. I watch so many people come from, you know, it could be Hotepers or Kemetic people. They could be Ifa people. They could be people that used to be Muslim, Christian, or Jew. And like you said, externally, they think they're past it, but they subconsciously, by their behavior and their action and their approach, they come on this path and you see that shit. And it's just, they don't see it, but you start to see it, like you're using that in your approach. And this is why we got to, the understanding of understanding how this subconscious mind works, and the traumas and the effects that we store there. Because I watch people come on this path and still have an aesthetic approach. Like I'll hear stupid shit like you said, you use the devil analogy. If you think this is some being, you know, with horns and a pitchfork that's going to torture you, you got a long way to go. Well, there's also the flip side to that. There's some people that still struggle. They still think there's this spook God controlling things. Now,
Right.
they don't say it verbally, but they'll say things like I hear stupid shit in the Kemetic school, like Ra the Most High. That I can't connect with that. That's
Oh no.
You know,
Yeah. I never could either. That's why, you know, that's why for a large part I came out of Natarianism. Because to me, you ain't gonna tell me this meal God creates. I can't ride with that. Just the same thing when I was younger and my dad had the Kabbalah up, you know. And I looked at it and I was like, well, goddamn, that tree looked upside down. Every time I looked at it, I got busy. You know, and if you look at Kether, if Kether is the roots, then why is the roots at the top? You mean to tell me I got to go from Malkuth to Kether, which is the root, and that's the top? No, I'm not riding with that. You know what I'm saying? And then even, I remember years ago, I read a book by Muta Ashby, and let me just preface, I love Muta Ashby's book. But it was called something about the serpent. And I threw so much shade on that book on Amazon because I'm like, the shit was so patriarchal. And even like, you know, when you go into Natarianism and you study the Kabbalah, I have it right here. Okay. And this is my former teacher, Dr. Terry Nelson. Love her. You know what I'm saying? But at the top of the motherfucking tree, you got Amen. You know what I'm saying? And then you got all these you know, all these male beings on the tree. And I think you only got Het Heru. And then you got Auset. You know what I'm saying? But then you got Seeker, Tahuti, Herakuti, which is another form of Heru. So you got three different aspects of Heru. Oh, y'all really trying to sneak in Heru 3 times on the tree? No, I'm not going for it. So, you know, and this is where you have to, I tell people, build your own spiritual practice to your education. Get out of the indoctrination, whatever system you go into, because these systems just serve as a point to teach you how to eventually reclaim yourself. They're only leading you back to yourself. What is in you? Because see, what's going to fuck a lot of people up? After this, there's next level spirituality where it's just you. There is no God. There is no ancestor because everything is in you. Are you ready for that? Where you are up in the cosmos and it's just you alone. What are you going to create?
They're not ready. They not ready. They not ready, Priestess. Priestess, they not ready.
But they realize that they're going to have to, you know, tap into their higher self where they are their own living God. Of course, there's a source, but you are your own God. You are the one you've been waiting for. You understand? It's all dependent upon you. Are you ready to create?
It's correct. You know what? It's funny you bring that up because I did a video a while back, and that's what I was trying to convey is there comes a point, I was using a metaphor, where the student got to let go of the teacher's hand and become the teacher and master themselves. That's what I meant, that period where you get to that point that you're talking about, because I keep telling people, yes, you can study, learn, we could dialogue, we could build. It's great to have elders and teachers. It's a beautiful thing. But there comes a point where some of the answers to these questions in life and you have to figure out on your own. Not everybody can answer the shit for you. The problem I see with this path sometimes with people in general, not just this path, they want somebody to do it all for them. They want somebody to take them by the fucking hand, give them the instruction manual book. That's what I mean when they carry over from previous systems, you know, lighter, fluffier right-hand path systems where, you know, there's a teacher, a master, a guru, a guide, there's some instruction manual / book or scripture, and then you have the followers who wait for the instructions. Well, I keep telling people on this path, you have to seek your own guidance and instructions. You can't wait for that shit. And we always joke around. We have these internal conversations. You know, some people, it's a social club to them. They think they approach it like church. Sometimes it's like I'm saying on a subconscious level. It
is like church to them. Yeah.
Exactly.
They've always wanted to be a part of the club. You know what I'm saying? And once they get in it, you know, like I used to have a friend and we came out of the IFA school where I got thrown out of a lot of the IFA groups. Because, you know, I was telling people, listen, y'all don't need to be initiated. You can make your own motherfucking spiritual bath. You can go directly to these Orishas and work with them. You know, you don't need a Babalao over you to give you clearance to work with the spirit. What kind of fuckery is that? And I got thrown out of them groups, man. And so, you know, he went in, he'd always wanted to be a part of the club and he got initiated. And next thing I know, he was coming at me, well, you can't say certain things because you weren't initiated in this path. Motherfucker, look, okay? You again, it's a social club for people. And what it is, Now that we're in the age of Aquarius,
Mm-hmm.
you really have to be your own master teacher, because your teachers serve as a guide. But ultimately, you are going to have to do the work, because only you were born with your own spiritual science. You and I weren't born the same time, so we don't have the same spiritual science. We don't have the same lineage. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find your own magic.
So, and that's not, okay, I'm glad you say that, because I keep one thing I drill over and over in classes, videos, etc. Everybody's path is different. Everybody's path is different in the sense it's unique because of what you just described. Not, for an example, what might work for me may not work for you, vice versa.
Exactly.
Things you're doing may not work. That's where I think the follower, separating from the follower mode and going and moving forward and figuring that out on your own. I think the reason why I'm saying that is what you're saying is I think people tend to cling on to what other people are doing, or they read books. I always tell people, if you're reading books and you see ritualistic work in there, add your own flavor touch to it. Do not do it identically the same.
Exactly.
Because 9 out of 10 times the shit's not going to work for you. I think that's where people struggle, because they're still in the follower mode,
Right.
And you can't do that. It's a
And
huge.
they don't understand that those rituals are put there to give you a basic structure how to set up a ritual. But
Correct.
you got to create your own ritual. And this is why, meditation is so important. People really got to get in and sit in with their higher self. It's like the sadhus in India, man. Them people, they go out into the fucking desert woods or whatever for like 10 years, 5 years, and they sit in with self.
That's right.
And this is the thing with Obeah. Like when you first start learning, you have to do a lot of sitting in with self to connect. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Because this is about you. This is about you, your particular walk. What did you come back here to express?
Correct. And I'm glad you clarified that. And I hope people understand that. So what we're going to do shortly, Raven, you have any more questions? We're going to go.
Yeah. I know. I understand that we got a lot going on in the chat. Everyone is loving this. They're absolutely loving it. I'm loving it. I'm about to jump out my skin. Oh, this is the kind of stuff I like. That fire. Thank you, Priestess. But
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Look, we so need this here. It's just hard. I don't deal with fuckery. I don't deal with people well. I'm not about that. I'm not on that foolishness. Right. So it's just really hard to connect with women who I think gets it. You know what I mean? That's just not all about that fuckery, fluffy shit, and it's all sexual, and I'm all that stuff. And so when you had did the video recently on healing, I discussed that, because we as women, I have trauma. I have deep childhood trauma, as you have experienced. I have the same shit, right? So when people go around, they have these little retreats, and it's all flowery and love, and it's all cute. That coming up out of pain.
No.
It's not cute. One last thing. And two, and when you touch on, and this is something I've been saying as well, and I'm sorry. I've been saying as well, is they are afraid to step into their power because they're so westernized. Everything's so masculine, patriarchal. They are looking at it from a man's perspective. They still got to be this here for a man, and forget who they needs to be for themselves. I want to thank you for touching on that. I felt like for us to hear it from a woman's perspective on that, especially someone that's you, Priestess. But yes, I would like for you to address that healing, because it's not just you and I that have this pain. There's others that could be in the chat as well that possibly didn't get to see the other videos. So I would like, if you can, please touch on that.
Right. And see, the healing is very ugly. This is why I did a video on mental illness and the occult. You understand? Because there's a lot of stigma around mental illness. And understand this, when a lot of mental illness for the most part are spiritual. You understand? And until you are able to tap in and to really work with that, Now, don't get me wrong. Some people that are like schizophrenic and have other issues that need to be medicated, oh, well, fine. You understand what I'm saying? But there are other aspects. You're talking to an individual that's been diagnosed as bipolar 2 and psychotic tendencies. And listen, you have to work, you understand, to begin healing, especially coming from a background of trauma. So it does not define you and even pollute your magic. You understand? And so healing, it's a continual process. Yes, you reach a point where, you know, you have to finish building the house. But at some point, the roof's going to start leaking. The water tanks might burst. You know, the toilet overflow. You got to get in there and fix the shit. You know what I'm saying? The windows might need caulking. You understand? It's a continual process working on self. This is why a lot of people, they fail, because it really, the occult is about working on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Embrace the aspect of yourself.
That's right.
You understand?
That's awesome.
Because that's what led me here. Because that Christian, because as a matter of fact, my older brother and I was talking about that last night, because we was just talking on the Bible, and he was telling me about a book he was reading, and he was like, you know, if you didn't have that trauma from Christianity, you may not understand the book. But I was like, yeah, I do. I think I will be able to understand the book, because unbeknownst to you, that Christian shit damn near had me being back committed.
Exactly.
Believing in that crap. Yeah. So and that's what I'm saying. It's work, and people don't understand how deep that indoctrination is. Even if you're not that normal everyday going to church person.
And not only that, but when people come on this path, you know, what are you going to do when those ancestors that have transitioned into that indoctrination? Because these are going to be the ones that surround you. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at like some folks that constantly suffer from like horrific migraine headaches, well, yeah, you got them ancestors sitting on your head. So you might want to do, you know, some work with them. You know what I'm saying? So they can lighten up and back up off you. You understand?
That's correct.
Well, I mean,
Understand?
It's a lot. It's a lot of work, you know, but it's rewarding, because there is nothing that you want you cannot have. You know what I'm saying? And really, there's a peace of mind that comes with it. We're not rocked when shit go wrong like other people. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
Right.
And I always tell people, right? And that's, you know, when you're dealing with your chaos or making order out of your chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Chaos is a beautiful thing if you understand it. And then, like you said, people think, and I always tell people, there's not a fix-all. There's no such thing, any avenue of life that you're just going to be a fix-all and it's going to fix everything like that. But what you just said is another point I drill home all the time. When that chaos comes, it's a lot easier to make order of it when you got the tools and the ammunition to now do it. Whereas prior to that, you become a victim of your circumstances when you don't have that knowledge. But one thing I want to ask you, and we're going to go to the phones, and we got a bunch of shit for you here. We want to go to the phones, but if you could elaborate on, because I know you have the name Auset in your title of your name. That's another thing. Everybody thinks Auset.
Yes, I wanted that too. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know you got the Ra Amen after it. I got my theories on it, but I don't want to speculate. I'd rather you explain, because everybody thinks Auset is always this, you know, motherly part of it. Don't get me wrong.
No,
there's
not
a
at all.
motherly aspect, but what does that title or name mean to you, your name and how you carry it? Because I got my ideas, but I'd rather hear you explain.
Well, first of all, when I started studying Kemetic, and I studied Kemetic for many years, and you know, one night Auset came to me in a dream, and she said, "Your name is going to be Auset Ra Amen." And I said, "Oh shit!" So I woke up and I did the numerology, because I also do some work with set. People see that but they don't see the set, because I see the set, the Setian part of myself.
I see the set everywhere. That's why I'm asking. But go ahead.
Right. And so when I got up and I did the numerology, my life path is a number 1. Okay, the name Auset Ra Amen resonates to a number 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, you know, it was embracing that aspect of Auset in all her manifestation. the Settian part of herself. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, people always think that Auset is so fluffy, but let me tell you something. No, the fuck she's not. You
No,
understand
she's
what I'm
not.
saying? And it's embracing that dark aspect of Auset. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
And as well as the lighter aspect of her.
Cool. Makes sense. Because the awe's there, but when I see, look, listen, and hear, I see the set. I mean, the awe's there, the awe set's there, but I see the set. I'm glad you clarified that, because I always tell people, when you take a name, and obviously with your experience, we don't take names unless we fully understand the meanings of them and we live up to the expectation and meaning of that name. It's got to hold some weight and significance, because that's another thing you see in all these conscious circles. People just take names because they're trendy. Everybody wants to be Hey Roo this and
Make that.
Yeah, it's comical to me. And then when you ask them, well, what significance does that hold? They give you some generic bullshit that they read in a book. And I got that meaning. I get that. That's not what I'm asking you. I mean, we all got the basic breakdown of what the names mean. The question is, I'm asking, what does it mean to you? And that's a telltale sign from the very beginning. You kind of get an idea where somebody's at on the path. Unfortunately, it's not to be judgmental. It's just, if you can't really understand the significance of a name or attribute you're carrying, how can you really understand what's going on internally when you can't even figure out, little shit like that? But I appreciate that. So what we're going to do now, because we got a lot of people here, I'm going to try my best to kind of flip flop from chat to phone to video. So two things. I'm going to give people the call-in number. All right. If you want to come in live in the room and ask Priestess a question, just type your, let me know in the chat. I'll send you the link. You can come in live if you so choose. If you want to call in, hold on. I got to get used to memorizing this damn number. All right. 561.
I got it.
Go ahead. Put it in the chat too, if you could.
I am.
561-962-1137. And let me just say, when somebody's on the phone and you're calling in, I see it, but I can't disconnect. So if you're calling in and I don't pick up, all you got to do is just keep calling back to when you see somebody hanging up. That's all you got to do. I can't take everybody at once. We'll try to, be liberal amount of time with everybody so we can get to as many people as we can. So again, 561-962-1137. If you just want to type your questions in the chat, because there's 53 is in the chat right now, you can type your questions in the chat and I'll forward them over to Priestess. Let me check the talk show. We got a few.
You got someone over in talk show?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do first is, let me bring, since we got Duma online on the talk show, let me bring him in first. Brother Duma, can you hear me? Brother Duma, you got two devices on, brother. I hear that echo. Duma, can you hear me? Duma.
Whatever.
All right, hold on. We got a call. I can't get him in. All right, so let me see. We got a call on in. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, what's your name and where you calling from?
This is Suzette from California.
All right, how you doing?
Background? Do I have too much background noise?
No. You're okay. The other call I had to disconnect because they had too much background, but you're good. You're live with the Priestess. If you got some questions, you want to talk to, go ahead. You're live.
Okay, I want to be quick because, like I said, I'm in the gym. Priestess, I love your energy. I just started watching your videos.
Thank you.
I admire you. My quick question to you, and then I'm probably going to drop off the line and then listen to the playback later, is I would like to know, what is your definition? Can you define what a witch is, and how does one know that they are a witch? And also, when you made that comment about people having migraines with the ancestors heavy on their minds, how do you work with the ancestor if that's the case? How do you work with that ancestor if they're troubling you in any way?
Okay, well, the first thing, how does one know that they're a witch? It's little things when coming up, having an affinity for herbs, crystals, spending a lot of time in nature, having these dreams of women coming to you, giving you rituals, having an affinity, like being being intrigued with the darker aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? Or being attracted to things like witchcraft, or, you know, you will know because it's like it's an affinity with certain things. You always felt different, you know. For some people, it could be like being in kindergarten and you had a mean teacher and looking at her like, I just can't stand her. I wish she would fall down and break her leg. No shade. And a couple of weeks later, she did indeed fall down and break her leg or some shit. You know, it's different things that come to you. Having an affinity, you know, to communicate with animals. You know what I'm saying? It's like being, you know, empathetic. You know, you can feel like when my son, you know, is hitting the tree, I'm like, why are you hitting the tree? Like, you know, they don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Having these feelings. And what was the other question?
Let me see if she's still on the phone.
Oh, the ancestors. Okay, dealing with the ancestors. You know, well, it's in trying to elevate them, you know, in lighting candles for them, in saying prayers for them. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes depending on how indoctrinated it's going, and even sitting in with that energy and even making a treaty with them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, Carla, I know she had hung up and listened to the question because she said she was in the gym listening. So I think you answered that question well. Again, I know somebody just called in. The phone line is free now. Again, if you want to call in, 561-962-1137. If anybody wants to come in live into the room, just go ahead and put it in the chat and I'll bring it in. I'm going to go up to the chat now, see if we got any questions. I got to go way up. I'm going to try my best. And we'll kind of flip-flop back. Let me see if I can get Duma back in. Let me hear some background noise. Duma, you're on the call. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I tried to plug you in before the previous call, but I kept hearing that you must have had two devices on. It was kind of canceling you out, but we can hear you. Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry, I had it canceling on my TV.
No problem. You're live with the Priestess, so go ahead. If you got some questions you want to talk to her, go ahead.
Greetings, Priestess. How are you?
Oh, greetings. I'm well. Yourself?
Good. I'm well as well. I always look at the videos, get some nice book recommendations, some nice visual recommendations. I was wondering, since you were talking about the annual birth chart, what would be the best way to figure out, like I said, that'll tell you how to navigate, learn about the different places of the signs and how that all works out.
Okay, could you tell me what he said? Because I'm
Duma, your connection's back. Can you come in on the YouTube? I'll try to plug you in, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Call, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Hi, this is Kiana. I'm calling from Los Angeles, California.
Well, hello, Kiana. You are live. You're with the Priestess, so go ahead.
Oh, yes. So my question is because my spirit drew me to your channel. And I'm really interested because I'm really dealing with shadow work right now.
okay.
Everybody that tries to come to me is like my spirit drives them away. And I found myself just being stuck with myself and having to work on myself. And it's been a challenge because I want to fellowship. I want to interact with people. But this path that I've been drawn to is forcing me to focus on it. And I just need to see if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm doing the wrong thing, because like I can manifest, but I'm not really focused. Like I just don't know. I'm kind of confused.
Okay, well, if you're having problems in that area, you know, you probably would need to take some spiritual bath. Keep a journal. You know what I'm saying? Pay close attention to your dreams. What is your dreams telling you? You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're having difficulties, then it obviously is a block. You need to get in and find out if subconsciously there is something blocking you. You understand? Subconsciously, there might be a block there where you need to have that removed by going into meditation. Now, you said you're a channeler, so you need to get in and channel and find out what is that block. What is that block that's causing, you know, for you not to be fully plugged in to what you want to manifest?
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions, Carl?
I was just wondering that because it's like I've been forced to be solo on my own and really work on myself, and I've been wanting to, you know, just have relationships, platonic and romantic, and it's like it's not allowing me to. It's like I pull my natal chart and I have relationship issues, and it's like I feel like my spirit is just pushing everybody away, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Well, maybe you might have ancestors that were men haters. I'm just saying, because I've seen that with her sister that I read for years ago, and she had ancestors, women around her that was like women of rooster places, and they really had really bad experiences with men in life. And so, and I also have a cousin where her ancestors run men off. You know what I'm saying? So you really need to find out. I'll give you an example. When I first got initiated in EFA, one of the things I was told, I cannot work with gay people because Jamaica, back in the day, I don't know now, was an extremely homophobic society. So, and there were things that happened in slavery with buck breaking and stuff. So I understand. But I had to go to my ancestors and make a treaty. Like, listen, I have gay friends, you know what I'm saying, gay clients. And if they come to me for help, I'm going to have to help them. This is a different time now. We don't, you know, have those kinds of discrimination. And, you know, I had to go and piece it out with them. And it was okay. So you might have some ancestors around you. Also get the feeling you need to be working with Oshun. You really need to connect, but you're going to have to do some work. You're out there in California. If you can find a river, you know what I'm saying? Or the ocean, go and really sit down and stare in the ocean, make some connection, work with some crystals, maybe a yoni egg, get some waist beads and put around your neck. Around your waist, some African dancing.
I have 3 waist beads. I wear 3 waist beads now. But everything that I've been doing has been to Yemaya because everyone is telling me, like I have a shaman, everyone is telling me that Yemaya is with me. So I haven't really worked with Oshun.
Okay, you can do work with Yemaya. Yemaya is the mother. Oshun is more the maiden aspect. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so you would want to work with Oshun too to bring in, not that Yemaya is not feminine because she is, but you would want to work with Oshun more because Oshun deals more with that love aspect, whereas Yemaya deals with more the motherhood aspect.
Okay.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? I'm sorry to butt in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. So because she stated that she wants to have outside relations, but it's not the ancestors, you know, the spirits, whatever, it's not allowing her to. Is that also could be saying that her focus is placed in the wrong area, that right now she really needs to focus on self?
Right. Do you have a relationship with yourself? Because oftentimes, you know, if you want to have somebody come in, you have to do the work with cultivating within yourself. You know what I'm saying? You might want to do some work with yourself as far as learning like how to really connect with your inner goddess. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kiona, could I ask a question? You said your fear turns men away as far as relationships. Well, my question to you would be, what do you know the source or origin of that fear? Is it insecurity?
Yeah, I dominate them because I've been assaulted, like when I was younger, and then on my first date, I got raped. You know, I was a virgin on my first date, and I got pregnant. So it's like anytime I connect with a man, if they're not nurturing me, if they're not trying to protect me, if they're not trying to claim me, it's just like it's something that comes over me to where I just dominate them and I just take over, and I'm like, you know, like you're dead, like get out, you know, like the Mortal Kombat, like finish him. type of thing.
Well,
You know,
that's
So what you have to do is you have to work on that energy, because it happens to those of us that's been raped or sexually molested, where that Sekhmetian Oya Kali energy comes in with men. And
That's
you
right.
Okay.
That's
you
right.
really have to work on that energy, so that, you know what I'm saying, you're not, in a relationship with that mortal combat. So this is why I said Oshun, because you need to work some more with that softer energy. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that energy that came in after that rape. You understand? Because that was the energy of like Urzuli Danto, Sekhmet, all that energy to protect you. Now you embrace that. But now you got to work to soften that energy with something else. And this is where that Oshun type energy would come in. You might also want to work with some yoni eggs, and it takes a while to come up out of that, because the act itself is horrific, but it's the energy that is left behind. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you got to work on getting rid of that psychic energy. You understand?
yes.
Right.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
All right. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're welcome.
And
Take care.
there's something, I know we ain't really talk about that. Priestess Doom, I'm bringing you in next. Mandy, I see you. You're gonna come in next. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
go
and that's something that should be addressed too.
right.
And the priest is valid, excellent points
Yeah.
on
Right.
dealing with
And you're
him.
going to have to work with somebody that's like a metaphysician. You know what I'm saying? That's skilled in the art of like crystal healing. And, whether you do a ritual where you go out and you're buried up to the neck, and a ritual is done over you to remove that, spending a lot of time by the water. This is going to be real work to remove that energy, because I know that energy well. It is one of the energies that destroyed my second marriage. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to do some work with Oshun. You know what I'm saying? To connect with your womb space. Because if you right now you're carrying that energy in your womb, that energy must be removed from your womb. And this is where the yoni work will come in. You know what I'm saying? And the loving of self, even sex magic solo with yourself to transcend those higher levels. You understand?
Right.
Of consciousness, where you can learn the art of forgiving yourself. You
Well,
understand?
I'm sorry. On that note, that's what I find. This whole, like you say, either molestation or something like Kiona described. I find, and doing this work over the years, something that I didn't really realize. I knew it was a widespread thing, but it seems like people that I work with and deal with, it's like almost 2 out of every 3 have had some experience with that. I didn't realize it was this intense. Like, obviously myself, I don't have any, never happened to me. I didn't really know it was this, but in a situation like when Kiona was talking and what you're saying, I've also found the problem is the way people deal with it. It kind of varies, where some try to bury it as if it doesn't exist. But here's the shocking thing. A lot of the people tend to hold themselves responsible. They've never done what you're talking about, that forgiveness. And the first thing I always ask them, I said, have you really focused on on what took place? Because like you said, you focused on the energy of it. That's a whole nother level. But I don't think a lot of them have actually said to themselves or looked at themselves in the mirror and really, one, forgave themselves, and it's not their fault.
Right. And see, and here's where the forgiveness of self come in at, because then that energy, because once you move that energy, then what do you replace it with? Because I can tell you that kind of hatred and anger and animosity can be fuel in relationships with men. You understand? And I'm not speaking about forgiving our perpetrators. Hell
No,
no.
hell no.
Because I done took mines off the planet. You know what I'm saying? I do not play with that.
Soon
You know
come,
what I'm
soon
saying?
come, soon
So
come,
you gotta
soon
find
come.
ways to get your absolution. One of the first things when women come to me with that, I'm like, well, is he still alive? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And to remove that energy from you so it doesn't become fuel. You understand? Because once you get rid of that energy, it's like, what do you then replace that with? You understand? You got to get back to the loving of self. You understand?
Correct. Good point. All right, Wacky J, I see you too. Just hang on. I'm going right in order. I'm just everybody be patient with me. Doing my best here to try.
We're going order while you're trying to get somebody else in. I'm going to state something. I'm so glad, Priestess, that you just said that, because we did a ritual about, what's that, Benita, about 2 months ago, right?
Which one?
The one, yeah, 2 months ago.
Which
I
one?
can't remember the name of it. Can't remember the name. We were just, I think the four of us was there or something. We went to the altar when we,
yeah.
And so we did this group working, and we went to the altar, stated things that we need to, our fears, things we need to focus on, whatever. And so when it was done, I literally had to sit with myself. I sat in that energy to figure out what I needed to do to correct that area of my life. And that's exactly what it was. I had to create my own. Well, that's what I do a lot of. Anyways, Priestess, is my rituals and my workings is really whatever's coming up in my brain. It's really all me. It's rare that I dig into a book. But I came up with something to work with myself. As a matter of fact, this week, my second candle on that working is done, and it burned beautifully. So that means that now I have done that work. What's my next phase of work I need to do? And then it was about self-love. You have to get into loving yourself. And those that have had trauma find it's to me, from people I've known, it's the hardest to do, is to love yourself.
Right.
You think you do, but you don't.
Write out a letter to the attacker that you don't have to mail it to them. You understand? But write out your feelings. Do water therapy with crystals. You know, first of all, let me ask, what is your sign, sis?
I'm a Virgo.
No, the sis that went through this stuff.
Oh, Kiona, is she still on the line?
No, Kiona's not on the line anymore.
Let me see if she'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, she's in the chat. Kiona, if you could put your astrological sign in the chat. But real quick on that note, I'm glad you guys are touching on this, because that's the difference between this path and other paths. You see, the other paths until you help everybody, save everybody. Well, you can't help or save nobody if you can't help or save yourself first.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's step one. And the key, like you said, like maybe in Kiona's part, you got to learn to love yourself, because maybe that's what's
She's a Libra. Oops, I'm sorry.
Okay.
She's a Libra.
Feeling okay. And so
stepping away for 1 second.
And guess what? Oshun rules over Libra. You understand? Oshun rules over Libra.
There you go, Kiona.
Right. And the energy of my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Going to the underworld and doing that work. That subconscious work. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I'd seen some of that Oshun energy. Oshun deals with the energy of Libra, that Venus, that Venusian energy. You know what I'm saying? So she can work with Oshun, you know, to release that energy of that rape, because the energy is still with her, and it's going to be fuel for her throughout any relationship she get into. The fuel of anger if they touch her the wrong way. Because I know with me, if my husband at the time came up and whispered in my ear, oh, I'd want to stab him in the throat with a knife. Now, you know what I'm saying? That was like, you know, that's intense. So you really have to work on that energy. And that's where that Oshun and doing a lot of womb work would come in.
True.
I'm doing something. Come on. I understand.
Sorry.
All right, that's okay. Well, while he stepped away, Brother Duma.
Let me bring in Brother Duma, but real quick, I had to step away, and I'm glad you bring that up with Oshun, because that's who in Ifa I'm initiated in, and everybody thinks Oshun. Again, another thing like with Callie and Lilith, everybody focuses on just the materialistic sexual energy of Oshun, but
oh hell no,
this warrior. My path of Oshun, and what people don't know is that may not be in Ifa, is these Orishis have different paths, and there's a warrior, a witch aspect of Oshun, and you hit it dead on. All right, let me take this one call, Doom, and then I'm gonna bring you in.
Okay.
Greetings, call. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Armintia calling. Sona?
Okay. What's your question for the priestess?
Well, while we're on the topic, I was just wondering, for, since there's been so much trauma on women, like my story's a little bit different. I actually had a mom that like supported myself and my sisters being molested by various men.
Okay.
And I was just wondering how to deal with that energy, when you actually have a mother or, there's women in your group that is allowing those type of things to happen.
Right.
And see, most of the time when that happens, your mother, more than likely 9 out of 10, was also sexually molested. And she thinks that energy is normal. You understand? And it's this secret shame of not bringing shame to the family. You know what I'm saying? And this is where people have to be confronted, and that laundry has to be aired out. You know what I'm saying? And you might never.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but like this story, like for her, it was a little different because she actually will blame us to this day. She's very open, verbal about it, and she'll blame the children. And she actually has 3 adopted children that she allows, some things to happen to, and and she's just out and open with it, with the blame and everything else. She has no shame, whatsoever. It's like totally different, Well,
see, with her, that's a mental illness, you know what I'm saying? And that's delusional, you know what I'm saying? And a refusal, to accept what happened. And I will guarantee you, like I said, 9 times out of 10, she's also been abused. You understand? This is why and some people, they are able to view this behavior as normal. It is sick, you know what I'm saying? But they're able. And see, what you're going to have to do for your own sanity and for your own healing is to step away from that toxic energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, already have.
Yeah, and it's sad that she has adopted children in her care that could possibly be exposed to that. So that's something you might want to look at. You know what I'm saying? But if she chooses to remain in that denial state, you understand? Then that's on her. But for your healing, you have to get yours. Because she's never going to come out of that. You know what I'm saying? Some people are going to die in that state of denial.
Wow.
Well, that's what I was just wondering, what was your take on that, just to add on to it? I actually missed a portion of the show and barely came in now, unfortunately, so I'll have to go back and rewatch everything. But I appreciate both of you guys for putting this together.
Oh, no, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I know, again, if you called in, I know some callers called in. I can't take it in at the same time. So just again, if you called and you couldn't get through, just keep calling back. Let me bring in Brother Doom. I know he's been patiently waiting. Brother Doom, you're here, brother. We got you, man. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. I think you're muted. Hold on. I don't know what the fuck's going on. This YouTube is tripping. Hold on. Doom, see if you're muted, man, because I got you unmuted, but it's showing muted. Hold on. I'm gonna put this caller on hold. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Okay, Oni, hold on. We got you next. Hold on, caller. Okay. Go ahead, Doomer. You're good.
Hello.
Okay. All right. The question I was going to ask her was talking about the astrology.
You got another device on, Doomer.
Okay, hold on.
Got to turn that off. It picks up everything. Oni, I got you on hold. I got you on hold, Oni.
I got you, Brother B. I'm holding.
Okay, you got it. I'm trying to work with people. I know everybody wants to call in and talk, but it's yeah, you got, if you have any, see, we're hearing it play back twice, so you got to make sure you're not near that same device.
Okay.
All right, you're good now.
All right.
There you go.
Now? Okay.
Yeah, you're good now.
All right. My question was about she was talking about the astrology, and that's not one of my strongest suits I've ever looked into, as far as the different houses and things, and to get a understanding of that. So I was just wondering if she had any general books that would clarify certain things to help me along my path.
Okay, well, there's plenty of astrology book. I know one of my first one was the only astrology book you'll ever need by, I think, Joanne Woodward. You know what I'm saying? And it's a big book, a big purple book. You can buy it on Amazon like used. You know what I'm saying? And it will walk you through. It really breaks it down for you in layman's terms. You know what I'm saying? And also the website, cafeastrology.com. It will give you a free natal chart, and it really breaks down, you know, your different houses.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I still think you got another device on, because I'm hearing echo.
TV.
Let me see.
Who is that? All right, we got to be conscious of that, please. If you got background noise, 2 devices, I said in the beginning, because it creates a lot of confusion, noise, and static. You may not hear it on your end, but it's hard for myself to hear. It's hard for the priestess to hear, and we can't really get the questions clear. So just background noise, and again, don't be close. If you got 2 devices up, you just either got to mute the other device that you're near, or you have to walk away from it, because it picks up everything. You may not hear it on your end, but all the feedback comes through.
I'm still holding, Brother B. I turned my tablet down so I can't hear.
Oh, that was you? Don't make me come to Brooklyn. Make me come to Brooklyn now. Anyway, Duma, what else do you got?
That's it. That's
all
it,
right,
Brother
I
B.
appreciate it, brother. All right, Oni, you're next. We got you next, and then I got Mandy, then Baffa after that. I'm just going right in order. Go ahead, Oni, what you got? That was you with all that static and tablet?
I'm the McDonald's closed because I'm doing the show and I'm gonna do it. So leave me alone.
All
I'm having a dust up here with my sons.
No problem. Go ahead, Oni. You're on, Oni.
Hello, it's Oni. How's everybody?
Hello, how you doing? All right.
Okay, can y'all hear me okay? Because I turned my tablet down. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you now. I guess that was, I thought that was Duma. Duma walked away. He was good. And then, anyway, we're good. Go ahead. You're clear. Perfect.
Okay. I have a question for the priestess.
Go ahead.
The question I wanted to ask was if I was having the same issue as Kiona with the Libra energy, because I'm an Aries. And Aries is a 180-degree polar opposite of Libra. I'm trying to figure out if I am giving off some type of vampiric or intimidating energy, because my relationship seems to be like on 0. It's like the minute I look at a man, I could be dolled up like a woman. I mean, it got to the point where their dicks don't even get hard. Like, I'm not even understanding it. Like, this shit is just crazy now.
Wait, now let me ask you something. Is this Baka Marja Kali something?
Wait, I can't hear you. Say that again.
Is this Bafa Kali something?
No. This is Oni from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, Oni. Okay. Well, first of all, Aries women. I got a few Aries women in my circle, and the Aries women, first of all, is a take charge women. Take charge, and think about the energy that Aries rule over. You're dealing with the planet Mars. That is the energy of Ogum and like Sekhmet. That's very hot warrior type energy, Amazonian type energy. You understand? So it would have to be with somebody that is not intimidated by you. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell an Aries woman to play a damsel in distress.
Oh no, I've never played a damsel in distress. I always seem to be the one that is more, I guess, aggressive, and the fact that I'm not understanding how a man can basically cower when we're in the bedroom, like we're both naked. Everybody's excited, but these dudes are like, it's like they become yellow bellies in the bedroom. They don't want you to go further. It's like they're intimidated. And it's like once they get, you know, that once or twice, or maybe even sometimes they even stay for years, but then it turns into a struggle. Like I got to fight with them to even participate in the act. Like they want to dominate me. They want me to lay on my back. They want me to be on my knees. And I'm like, bro, this is not working. Like, I need to deal with this. Like, you can't intimidate me. And then it gets to the point where they start to withhold sex. It's almost as if like they want me to be like, oh, baby, why don't you come over? Why don't you, I'm not, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not begging no man. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's some real weak shit. Like, you supposed to be the man. Like, what the fuck? I'm not understanding it. Like, I know Ogun and Sekhmet. I've had dreams about Sekhmet. And I've been told through these five that Ogun was my father. But someone also told me that I have Darabanda as well, which I know is like in Paulo or something.
It's Paulo.
Yeah, that's Ogum in Paulo. Yes, Darabanda. Same energy. Well, you know, Ogum deals with the heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? And Ogum is sort of like a loner. You know what I'm saying? And very much into very stoic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you, sis. You're just going to have to find somebody that can that's not intimidated by the energy or doesn't come in and try to conquer you. You know what I'm saying? You might want to do some work to look for, because it seems like you got a lot of that Ogum energy, but you're also attracting that same energy. You might need a beta male that, you know, is, you know, that comes in and, you know, will just let you take the lead.
I don't know. I've never tried. You said a beta veil. I've never heard of that, but I tried to be softer. Like I've actually done some work in that area to soften myself up. But then it seems like the brothers that I've been picking, when they see me a little bit like, you know, okay, she seems to be kinder, softer, it's like they become this monster. And it's like, I'm like, wait a minute, now I have to try to defend myself because you're being a little rough here. It's like they want me to submit completely. And I have no problem doing that, but you're not going to make me submit and you only giving me 7 minutes in the bed, bro. That's not, no. I'm not you know, bro, you got to do more than one with me. But, you know, I don't know. I thought maybe it's too much liquor, too much life. I don't know what it is, but I've been celibate for 10 years because of this same issue.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, Brother Beniti. Watch it now.
You're just gonna have to find somebody that can match you sexually. You know what I'm saying? You might want to look into like a Shango type energy. You know what I'm saying? To match that Ogum energy you're walking with. It's all about finding somebody that matches you, that you're sexually compatible with. You know what I'm saying?
You be getting them fluff meisters, them Cocoa Puffs you be drawing.
Now, I've dealt with Gemini men, Libras, they just go the other fucking way. Like they can't even function around me. They literally turn into, I don't know what. Like they just don't talk. They just they don't talk nothing. The only ones that actually kind of gave me life are Geminis, but their lives, like I know that those are Shango men, but the mental part is what fucks with me because their lies and the womanizing, I can't do it. Like they don't even.
Well, the Gemini men, they're classic a shoe type, trickster type energy.
Oh, come on, man. You guys offending me, man. What's going on here? No, stop.
Oh, you a Gemini? Oh man, don't even know Gemini. No. Hey, you see our POTUS and Kanye West? They're making the Gemini look real bad indeed.
Yeah. Oh, now you really just threw it in the trash.
Right. No, you might need.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, you might need a Aries like yourself. You might need that Aries sex god that can match you sex for sex. A brother that's like into tantra. And if he's not, then you can bring him into that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do that. Because it seemed like you got the Rihanna Disturbia sex thing going on. So you're going to have to bring him into that. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that work.
All right, Priestess. Well, I really appreciate that.
We appreciate you calling in, Oni, and Oni will be here on the 21st. Don't forget. We appreciate you, Oni.
I got you. Thanks a lot, Priestess.
Peace.
You're welcome.
All right, let me go to Skip Wacky J. I'm going in order. Everybody just be patient. I know we got a gang of you trying to come in at the same time. I'm doing my best here.
Are you missing anything in the chat?
I ain't even taking out one question in the chat. Why don't you monitor the chat?
Apparently.
Well, okay, thanks. I'm trying to handle like 8 different call streams here. But
you Gemini, you duality, do that shit.
Okay, now you
stop complaining.
Everybody else stop attacking the Gemini. All right, we'll let that ride. Let me see. Wacky J, can you hear me? Wacky J.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, we got you loud and clear, brother. What you got? Talk to us.
Hey, okay, all right. Hey, good to be here. Man, much love. Priestess Auset.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I want to say first, I really appreciate you for everything you do. Since Benita mentioned you a few weeks ago, I went to your YouTube, and you have a lot of helpful information on your videos, and really respect everything you do, because I could tell as soon as you start speaking, and you said the 35 years in the spiritual, in the course, and so I did just want to do that. A sincere honor and salute to you.
Thank you.
The show and the energy flowing so, yes, ma'am. The energy flowing so great, so I don't want to be on the line too long. I just want to ask one question. Do you do any spiritual readings or consultations or provide services? Because I would like to support.
Yes, I do. Actually, I'm on a website called Witchvox, witchvox.com. And actually, you can just email me at my email address at tiamat@gmail.com. I think it's on my channel. You know, the email address. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, if you go to her description on the channel, Wacky J, she has all her information on there. Email, how to contact her. That's how I contacted her. And I definitely appreciate the comment. You know, I don't bring no fluffinated bullshit people on the show. That's why we reached out to the Priestess and get her on, because, you know, we don't bring no garbage up in here, man. That's how we roll.
Right. Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you, Beniti and Priestess Auset. I really appreciate you, and I really respect what you do. Yes, from hearing your voice and you speak on those different videos, it does a lot for me. It really strengthens and it also confirms that I'm doing the right thing. It's a lot of synchronicity. I'm on the right path. So it just has really increased my focus and motivated and inspired me currently. And I am going to continue to progress and experience in my spirituality. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
We appreciate it, Wacky Jake. Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, peace.
All right, let me go back over. Again, callers that were trying to call in, I know you were calling in a few minutes ago. The line is free. Again, let me just repeat. If you call and somebody's on the line, I got to kind of just let it ring and just keep calling back. It's the best thing I can tell you. All right, I'm going to go to Mandy, then Baffa will be after that. I'm going right in order. Mandy, go ahead. You are live with the Priestess.
Peace. Listen, bring me back on in a minute. I have to handle something for David real
quick. All right, we're going to go back to you.
Yeah,
all right, mute yourself. Let's go to Baffa. Baffa, you are live with the Priestess. Baffa Margaret, what's going on?
Hey, hi.
Hey, how you doing, Baffa?
I'm good, girl. I love you.
Oh, thank you. You a Taurus, right? You a Taurus.
No, sweetheart, this is why I want to talk to you, because, girl, I got so much Capricorn in me.
Ooh, yeah, that's some heavy ass energy.
I just took off of my, my natal chart because you were talking about, your natal chart and stuff, so I had to go dig my stuff out, and I'm like, wow. I really do need to study this more because I just realized I have a lot of Capricorn Earth energy in this chart, in my chart.
Right.
And I just wanted to kind of ask you about a lot of these, like the Earth energy, especially Capricorn and Saturn.
Well, Capricorn is one of our oldest energy on the Kabbalah. That's dealing with Bina. And that's the great primordial mother, and that's a heavy ass energy. That is no light ass energy, because people with a lot of Capricorn in their charts, they're here to deal with some real heavy ass karmic energy. Ooh. And that is the crone mother. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And the crone mother is not here for no fuckery.
Okay, and that's why I come.
Yeah, okay. And that's the energy of dealing with the underworld, because I saw you years ago on Facebook, and you had a video up where you was in a bathroom smoking or something. I think it was on another sister's channel. Yeah, right. That was a long time ago, right? And I never forgot you. I'm like, wow, this sister walking with some powerful ass energy. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's the right. That's the crone mother energy. That is the Gorgon. You know what I'm saying? That is like the Kali energy. That's the Orishkagal energy. That's all those darker primordial energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
holy death. I'm attracted
the holy death. All that. Yep. So you are what would be described as a dark goddess. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Dealing with those transformative energy where people literally have to, it's like when Enoch comes down to Erishkigal and she goes through those 7 columns and is crucified before she can go back up. You understand?
Okay.
You would be Erishkigal, where people that come in, they have to go through those transformative energy where they die and get rebirth. You understand?
Okay.
And it takes a lot to embrace that energy, because those are not light energies at all.
No,
those are the very darkest of the primordial energy. So I'm glad you're embracing that stuff, because listen, what you'll find, a lot of people get scared. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to embrace those type of energy. I love it.
Yes, I was actually drawn to that energy when I was a child, like a young girl. I've always just dabbled into occult stuff. I just loved it. You know what I'm saying? And my mother, she was born with a veil over her face. And at the time I didn't really understand what it was.
Right.
And I just embraced it naturally. It just, I didn't have any fear of it. I just started getting into it. And by the way, my name is Auset too. I just don't tell anybody that.
Yes.
That was before, I started calling myself Baka Marga on the internet and stuff like that. But some people know me as Auset too.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
I love
Auset. People don't realize that there's a darker aspect to Auset. Right.
He does not play, and that's why I love you, because once I stumbled across your page and I clicked on one of your videos, and I think it was like Divine Feminine or whatever, and I just started listening to you, and I was like, wow, she reminds me of my mother, and she sounds like, I love your voice. It's like her energy is off the chain, and I'm loving it. And I'm like, this is how I am really, in a sense. I'm just kind of a strong-willed person, and I just don't like games. I don't like playing with people. I'm just tired of the fuckery like we do and deal with on this show. I don't deal with that in my personal life.
Right.
I really don't.
Because what people don't understand is people like us got to create our own path. We're not here to follow a path of what's been made for us. We literally got to forge our own path, even at the risk of being ostracized. That's why this path is really not for everybody, because it's really for those who can truly embrace what is in them.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Yep.
Good
That's
points.
what's up. But like I said, I'm learning a lot from you. I'm learning a lot from the needy. I'm learning a lot from various other people. And like I said, this stuff just helps keep me, you know, on point with myself. And that's what I've been doing lately since I'm, you know, I've arrived in my 50s. So, you know, I'm a crone now. So.
Oh yeah, me too, girl. Me too. Yeah.
5 grandbabies, you know.
Right.
So
the kid is not here for no fuckery, man.
You know?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Cool.
I love it. I really appreciate you coming to the show. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You know, I've admired you from afar for many years. You know what I'm saying? Just look at how you just embrace.
Look at Balfour. Look at Balfour.
You know? Yeah. And how it just transformed you, man. I'm like, that's hot. Yeah.
I
Cool.
never knew that. But
Yeah, you never know who's watching, Balfour.
Right. That's what I say all the time. You never know who's watching.
You never know who's watching, Balfour.
I love that. Thank you. We don't have to connect. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I got a gift for you too, so I'm gonna have to link up with you since I see you wearing all.
Listen, yes, send me an email. Yep, send me an email. I'll give you my number because I love connecting with kindred sisters, man, and brothers. So yeah, man. Yeah, link,
ma'am, we got the link, boo.
Cool.
Yes.
Fire, honey.
All right.
All
Well,
right. Well,
Balfour.
thank you very, very much.
All right.
Balfour. I mean, you're in the room. You can hang around if you choose. If not, I'm just going to put them. All right, cool. All right. I know you said you had a question from Tanisha, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I lost it.
Oh, man.
That's what I was saying. I lost it.
Damn Virgos, man. They be losing shit.
Well, whatever. Whatever. We're not going there. We're not going there. You know, we're going to leave on the Virgos. We're going to leave on the Virgos.
Yeah, I'm staying out of this, man. It's too much energy. I'm going to stay out of this. I'm going to back out of this.
We're going to leave on the Virgos. Y'all can't handle the Virgos, okay?
All right, let me see if let me see if Mandy's ready. I'll try to go back to her. Mandy, you ready?
Hey, Priestess, Auset.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Balfour. Hey, Raven. Hey, Duma. Hey, Brother B.
What's
How
up?
you doing? Duma, look what I'm wearing.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Yes. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. Peace,
Nice.
Priestess Auset. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, sweetie. How you doing?
Amazing. Your videos. Oh my God. Thank you, Brother B, for bringing her on. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have found her. She is fire. Absolute fire. Especially, you know.
What I tell you, man, you know, I told you I don't deal with no garbage. When you're gonna learn, man. You know, I don't bring no garbage people on here.
Oh, whatever.
There she go. Blue
Is that Virgo bullshit I'm feeling again?
But now with the astrology, you know, with astrology,
y'all need Virgos in y'all lives. Keep order.
I'm back and forth with the way I talk, but I had to write it down tonight. I was not playing. Nah, but with the astrology and the numerology, thank you so much for all that. I'm definitely gonna look into that. I already got the encyclopedia of herbs on its way. The baths, all that stuff. Cause when I saw one of your videos in Hey Rue, your son had came in, and just the love between you guys, it just reminded me so much of me and my littles. But there's such a disconnect between me and my oldest daughter, Destiny. And Brother B knows about that. And Brother B, remember when you was talking about how when you feel like there's, you know, negative energies within someone, sometimes you could tell in the eyes?
Yes.
It's a constant thing with her.
Well, have you delved into? There is a book by Robert Lee Camp, and it's called The Love Cards, that goes into your numerology and hers. Like what kind of energies did you all come over from past life as adversaries? You know what I'm saying? What is the past life energies between you all?
Well, See what I had her young. I mean, I've been with my husband for 19 years, and she's she's about to be 18. So I had her. I'm 37 years old. I had her young, and as we do when we're young, we make bad decisions and stuff like that. And thinking people were my friends, I would leave her as a baby with my friends, and nothing has ever happened to her before. But they would mind manipulate her because I did have a lot of haters, probably still do, and they just would mind manipulate her, and it grew our relationship very, very much apart. And now that I'm where I'm at today and the progress I've made in my life and my husband has made in his life and us together, I've spoken to her. I've owned my shit as I always do. And, but she still has like this wall up against me. And I'm just trying.
Well, give it up. What's her sign? What's her sign, sis? What's her sign?
She's a Sagittarius and I'm a Libra.
Oh Lord, I have a Sagittarius daughter. It's fine. Listen, you just have to let them be. All you can do, like right now, is like even petition her guardian angels. You know what I'm saying? The ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Because unbeknownst to you, you might not think that you're getting through. You know what I'm saying? But the seeds that you are planting will bear fruit. Listen, Sagittarius are here to do their own thing. You understand? I have a Sagittarius daughter, and I can't tell you how many times I have clutched my invisible pearls. You know what I'm saying?
And Hebrew is a Scorpio, right?
Huh?
Is Hebrew a Scorpio?
Yep, Hebru's a Scorpio.
And
yep.
My littlest one, Giselle, is a Scorpio, and that's my Scorpio. I love her.
Yeah. Oh, I love him. He's my ball of light. He reminds me so much of my dad because he looks just like him when he was a kid. And he has this love for me, like a grandfather type energy love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Giselle all day. But I just, I'm gonna look into the herbal encyclopedia and do some, the bath book and stuff like that, and try to do some things with her, and obviously, start petitioning. Listen, Raven Hecka and Brother B have been on me about doing some ancestral work and shadow work, and
you have
my husband and I,
right,
and I most definitely will. Absolutely, I need to, because there's obviously still some things that need a lot of fixing, but we have been so abundant in business, and my husband and I being together and things getting better, because we were down and out for like 7 years because of decisions we made together and involving other people into our spirituality, thinking it was going to help them, but all it did was turn on us. Right. And you was talking, Brother B, and you was talking about that before while I was in the chat. Like, yeah, this shit, it's work. It's work. And if you're not built for it, like that one person you said that had died or had gotten blessed or baptized and came back and died.
Yep.
In the beginning of the chat, like it got me sick. Oh my God, headaches. It broke us apart. It was crazy. But now that we got through it, we look at all chaos and everything coming to us as if it was a blessing, as opposed to putting these up. You know what I mean? So he's still going through it though right now. I had to. He hung up on me the other day in Philly because he took over Philly. We have a plumbing company, and somebody was beeping the horn. And he was like, "Oh, you just hit my car!" And all I heard was the seatbelt go off, the door opened, the car turned off, and the door was slammed. And he wasn't answering the phone. I was like, "Yo, I'm like 45 minutes away from Philly," and then I was like, "All right, it'll work itself out," and it did. It did. Yeah, right. And he messes with Papa Candelo and we both are very heavy with Santissima Muerte. She's done amazing things with us. I've never heard you speak about her. What's your take on Santa Muerte?
Well, she's one of the goddess that Santa Muerte. I have not done work with her except for lighting her candle. As a matter of fact, I have her deck, her tarot card coming.
Yes, I do. The Oracle
I have that coming any day now. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely love Santa Muerte in dealing with the ancestral energy, and dealing with that death current. Oh, most definitely.
They're beautiful. You are gonna love them.
Yes. And I can't wait till I get mine.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Oracle cords.
That's that. Let me tell you something.
Oracle cords, when you flip them over, it makes a Ouija.
Yes.
It's so, oh my God, I love them. I absolutely love them.
Well, Holy Death's no joke. That's one of my main paths. I work with that consistently.
That's who brought me to Brother B. Santa Muerte.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's some
Looking
role
for
clearing.
Paulo. What the
That's
hell
some.
was I thinking? I'm
That's
like,
some.
Brother B, can you teach me about Paulo?
That's
No,
that
Santa
shit.
Muerte was like, no, you ain't going to Paulo. You with me, girl.
Yeah, Paulo's not
But
for everybody.
thank you so much, Priestess.
No
You are
problem.
absolutely amazing, Brother B. You know I love
Thank
you.
you.
I'll see all of
All
y'all
right.
in October. Hopefully you can make it out in October, Priestess. That would be nice. We
Yeah,
have a little
man.
get together
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
That would
we're
be
in Fort
awesome. Everybody
Lauderdale, so
love
she's
that.
not too far. She's one state above
Oh
us.
shit.
Oh, you in full?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not in New York no more. My number's still New York, but we're
Plug.
we're in Fort Lauderdale, so we're not too far.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Mandy, you can hang around. I'm going to take Tanisha got a question online. She says her son is a people. I'm going to go
Wait
to
a
the
second. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. That's not the original question.
Well, I saw this one, so I figure I just
Well, and I'm telling you, it's not the original question.
yeah, but I'm saying that's her latest one.
Yo, you want me to go get Pop? Bring out some discipline?
Yeah, I might have to get. But anyway, I'm gonna read this one till you find the other one.
All right. I am going to go.
No, I'm gonna let you read it.
I love
All right.
all of y'all.
Did you find the other one?
Love you, Mandy. Yes, of course I have it.
Okay, then go ahead. Do that one.
Well, she had typed, I've been seeing the numbers 9 and 4 together often. Then I saw my birth cert. I'm thinking that's a birth certificate with my birth time of 1:48 or 1:39. It doesn't say AM or PM. I just know it equals 13 plus 9 and 3 equal 13. Any insight?
Okay. Well, the number 9 represents the energy of Obeah, and it represents transformation. 9 is also, I think, in the 9th house of Mars, of Scorpio, dealing with the energy of the underworld. 9 also represents the energy of the humanitarian,
Well, I'm gonna get some of
being
this.
concerned about the world at large. You understand? And it's dealing with transformative energies within you to go deep within you and do some of that work in the darker aspect. Now, number 4, that's the energy of Shango. Now, Shango deals with that fire energy. What this is talking about is more responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Embracing more responsibility in your life. Like maybe there are things that you're not dealing with in a structured manner that could require a lot more structure than what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep,
even that number 13, again, when I look at number 13, I see 1, that's a shoe. Number 3 is also one of a shoe's number. You know what I'm saying? This is a number that's dealing with transformation, and also, again, 1 plus 3 equals 4, dealing with that structure. You know what I'm saying? It's something in your life that needs to be dealt with in a more structured, orderly fashion, as opposed to just letting stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a grab the bull by the horn kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She was saying she's a Gemini. Her son is a Virgo male. Well,
Because that Mercurian energy is all over the place, and really it needs to be grounded and brought down to that number 4 energy that gives it a little bit more structure, because Geminis are wildly creative and brilliant. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that energy has to be grounded so the energy is not dissipated all over the place.
So the hate with the Geminis tonight, man.
yeah.
My mother's a Gemini. I have 3 brothers. 3 of my brothers are Gemini, and my last ex was a Gemini that I told, listen, I don't do Gemini men, and he somehow convinced me to get involved with the Gemini. Don't paint them all with a broad straight brush. And sure enough, I'm like, oh, see, that's what.
Man, all right. I'm just going to take it on the chin tonight.
But the second part, but that's the second part. She was saying her son is a Virgo male. He has had major challenges lately, and any insight?
Okay, well, what you want to do is the website e-tarocchi.com and look for archangels. What you really want to find out is the archangel that was assigned to him at birth, and do some work with that archangel to help him. Now, what day was he born on? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
We'll wait for her to put it in.
Oh, she was born in the AM. Oh, okay. Let's see if she put it in.
Yes, man.
I could tell her about Virgo men, but anyway.
Well, the Virgo energy is very heavy. You know what I'm saying? And he probably needs a lot more water energy around him. So because that Virgo energy can lead to a lot of depression if the earth energy is not moistened with water. It needs a lot of water to balance it out. Otherwise, it becomes cracked, dry, and barren. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, Tanisha, she want to know what day he was born.
Like a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm in right. Yo, y'all leave me alone, man. Why you in here like you want to fight somebody? I'm doing it.
They're trying to get mom's attention.
I know, man. You didn't have Rue in here like they're ready to fight somebody.
That's some gremlins, baby. They don't play.
Tanisha. Well, when you were saying that, when you was talking about Capricorns, my mother is a Capricorn, and she is about the most even person I have ever met in my life. Feathers don't get ruffled easy. I just say she's easy breezy. She just deals with life on a level. I mean,
right, because she's a balanced Capricorn.
She is so balanced.
Yeah. That's the higher polarity of the Capricorn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Me as a Virgo, I can see why I needed her as a mother growing up, and that worked for me. What is she doing? Tanisha, we need what day was Manny born? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She typing everything, but
if you got another question, we can come back to that.
I don't see any other. It's just a lot of conversation. Wait, there was one. Wait a second.
Yeah,
we go back up to the top.
Let's see.
Come back to this. Take another call or.
No, well, I want to see if there's any in the chat.
You heard me say I'm going through it, looking, and if you can, please, see if you got anybody online.
No, I don't see anybody on the line. Again, I know some people tried to call and couldn't get through. Let me put the number again: 561-962-1137. 561-962-1137. Just go ahead and peruse the chat real quick because I didn't even pay attention to be honest with you. I'm gonna check on the other end over here.
Yeah, I had to bounce out the chat because it was acting crazy, and when I came back, I lost some of the questions.
Okay. Don't see any there. All right. Come back over here.
Some of the ones she has already answered, so I'm just not going to repeat that stuff.
Okay. All right. So what we could probably do is, maybe just kind of do a wrap up here. I know it's getting late, and I know she's got her kids all coming up on it, and we don't want her to stomp them live on the air. And then we got evidence. And that'd be a crime.
Mask of sanity on the air.
But anyway, so let me add this, and we can kind of, take it to the bridge here. I'm glad we addressed a lot of this, and again, what I wanted to do, and I'm glad the goal on that was my conversation. Also, I know when we talked a couple of times, Priestess, was it's a little different on some of these topics when it's coming from somebody like yourself. Not again, I wasn't trying to just make this a woman thing tonight because really, no, in my opinion, the way you teach and how you present your stuff, it's for anybody. I don't care, man, woman, child, male, female. But I wanted them to see, and again, why I reached out to you, I wanted them to see a different type of female because again, this is just. I've noticed it's always the girly girl, I'm so, feminine and sexual goddess this and Callie that. It just fucking gets me nauseous. I can't even sugarcoat it.
It gets me nauseous.
It's nauseating, and there's so much more, unfortunately than that. In my opinion, I know like Sister Baffa, Raven, there are some sisters out there that are not, in my opinion, just about that. Maybe it's just me because that's the type of person I don't like that timid, laid back shit. It just never, it doesn't do anything to me. It's kind of
all right. So let me go back to Thank you. We know that. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm not sorry. So yeah, it seems like tonight just everybody's on this here, talking about the astrology, just open up a, astrological. So her son, Tanisha's son, was born on a Monday.
Okay, okay, so his guardian angel is Gabriel, okay? And Gabriel actually deals with the aspect of the family, the emotional aspect. So what she has to do, and the color is white, she may need to light a white candle and surround it with some clear quartz crystal with a picture of her son. I tell people that's having a problem with their children to set up a living altar. You know what I'm saying? Put a glass of water with some clear crystals. And what you want to do is to speak to their guardian spirits, because they all come here with their own spirits.
Yes.
Their own
I like that. That's deep.
Definitely,
I'm taking that.
definitely get a Selene. What is it? That stone is called a selenite or something like that.
Right, and there's a crystal. There is lithium quartz. Lithium quartz is really good for children that are having like emotional issues. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? The clear quartz that can be programmed to speak to their guardian angel, and a white candle that's lit for clarity. You know what I'm saying? It's like doing healing work on them.
Yes.
You're actually doing healing work by setting up that living altar and every now and then lighting a candle, keeping fresh water. You know what I'm saying? Surrounding it with crystals like amethyst, clear quartz, lithium quartz. You know what I'm saying? All the healing, the healing crystals. And doing that spiritual work on them.
And use an egg too.
Huh? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I love eggs. I love eggs. Yep. Yep.
Raven, do you see the questions by Crystal Hopkins? Says she asked 2 questions, and then there was somebody else here. Did you find them? I don't see them. They must have been up further.
Well, I see one. I asked 2 questions, and I don't know. I don't see them.
Well, maybe go up. I didn't go up to look.
She can retype them.
Yeah, Krista, if you could retype them, I'm not sure. Maybe there was another one. Somebody had asked an astrology question. I just
There's
lost
a lot of them in there. That's what I'm saying. It opens up.
All right, so see the one by Vasti? Want to ask that one while Crystal retypes those questions?
What's the timestamp?
Why the hell isn't it showing on my end? I don't have times next to mine.
9:33 here. So.
Yeah, I can't see that far up. Yeah, they have to retype.
It's fairly new, but I'll just read it. It says, Priestess.
Go ahead and read it.
It says, Priestess, can you tell me the significance of my birth date? October 1st, 1964, born at 3:52 a.m. What's the day, too? You might want to give it a day. Vasti. But again, Priestess, that was October 1st, 1964 at 3:52 a.m.
Well, see, she has a lot of number ones in her the first numbers, because 10 is a 1, and what is it? That 1, it deals with the energy of like it's she's not here to be a follower. You know what I'm saying? And even with that Libra energy, that's working with the energy of like Ishtar, that Oshun type, Venus type energy. You know what I'm saying?
And you see the time she's born when you add it up, it's 10, it's 10.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that 10, they are like, because my life path is a number 1. And also with that number 10, it could mean that her karmic debt has been cleared and she's free to do whatever she wants in this lifetime. She got the clearance. But see, that number one talks about independence. She's not here to be codependent in no relationship or nothing. She is here to forge her own path and walk her own path. You understand? She literally got to create her own path, because number 1 is about independence. You're here in this lifetime to learn to stand on your own 2 feet.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
So all right, I have a question here by Jessica Moonchild. I have Mars in my sun sign of Cancer. I was wondering how that plays out.
Well, that Mars in your sun sign, it deals with a lot of energy of like aggression. So that's something you might want to work on. You know what I'm saying? Mars also deals with Aries, which is the fifth house, which is the first house of the zodiac. They call them the baby of the zodiac. And it's really here, you're here to work on some issues with self. You know what I'm saying? This is dealing with the inner you, how the world views you. How do you feel about yourself? You know what I'm saying? Embracing that part of yourself, you know, not trying to diminish any aspect of yourself to make people uncomfortable, but really to learn how to deal with it in a manner where it's not so overly aggressive, where you can be a bit more tactful. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Then we have Brother Phil. He says, I'm a Libra, and 4 has always been my favorite number. Is there any correlation or relations?
Well, the 4 talks about responsibility. You know what I'm saying? My destiny number is a number 4. 4 deals with the energy of responsibility, bringing things into a concrete manifestation. You understand? Because as a Libra, you know, it's an ear type energy. You know what I'm saying? So it talks about you want to work more with that energy of structure. What is it that you desire to manifest? See, if you like that number 4, if we go back to the tarot card, it deals with the emperor. Are you sitting on your throne? Are you embracing your inner godhood? You know what I'm saying? So that's that energy. This is, you got to embrace your inner godhood. You understand? Your inner God. You got to sit on your throne. You understand? So that's what that 4 is. That 4 is about bringing that manifestation of responsibility in your life. Being responsible for your choices and not, see, the emperor is a highly evolved individual. You know what I'm saying? He's not a beta male. He's a man's man. He knows exactly what he wants.
You got that feel? You're a man's man. You better get it. Get it. We have Marve. She's an Aquarius, and she want to know what it means to have Scorpio in her second house.
Well, Scorpio in the second house, that's a water type energy, and the second house is dealing with Taurus. That's your money. You know, it's dealing with how you make money. And see, that Scorpion energy, you would want to work like that's the energy of Obeah. It deals with a lot of transformation. So you can have a lot of ups and downs in your money sector. So it's finding out exactly what you want to do about your money situation. You know what I'm saying? With that Scorpio energy, you'd want to work with a lot of water energies. I know the Scorpion is a deeper energy of like La Serene, Mami Wata, Yemaya, you know? It's a deeper energy more so than dealing with the surface type energy. It's also an energy that deals with the darker aspect of Auset, you know, that scorpionic energy. So basically, you know, I mean, I'm trying to think because I think I might have Scorpio in that house too. And what it talks about basically is a lot of transformation within your money sector. So at all times, if something is not working, you got to go back to the drawing board. If you are in a job that you're unhappy in, then look for something else. At no time can you let stagnant energy develop, because this is where it will create psychic blocks to you achieving what you need.
Yeah. Let me real quick, Raven. I'm just going to address the. I see what Crystal Hopkins typed in. I mean, and Priestess could add to it, but I want to add something real to that quick. And then she's asking a question about how you work with Paulo without being initiated or not speaking Spanish. Well, being initiated in Paulo and the Sarabanda. Let me explain something real quick. I did 2 videos on it. I explained it all. I did one on Palo Monte, one on Palo Mayembe. It's not really just a Spanish thing. It actually has its origins and roots in ancient Africa. Now, it's mainly practiced here in America, very popular amongst the Latin American community. But I keep telling people this to be clear, and I'm speaking in general. I get a lot of emails about people thinking about getting initiated in Paulo, and that's fine. I don't tell people what to do, what not to do, but I want to make this clear. If you follow the traditional system, it's not unlike the path that we're talking about tonight. When you're on a path to self-mastery, you pretty much control, do as you want, and you kind of lay out your path. But I want to make it clear, if somebody decides to go that traditional route, you can't deviate from that. When you belong to a house, you got to follow the rules and regulations and go through what's required of you. There's no deviate from it. And I want to make this clear. There's a lot of animal and blood sacrifice and drinking of blood, depending on what particular spirit you're going to be initiated in when that's done through divination. So I'm going to do this real fast. I don't want to stay on too long. That's if you go the traditional route, and it's not for everybody. And if blood sacrifice and animal sacrifice and dealing with blood is something that you're not into, it's definitely not for you. And there's a lot of physical trials and tribulations you go through. In most cases, depending, if you don't like to get your ass whooped, I just put that out there like that. If you decide to work with it without being traditionally initiated, yes, you can. There are aspects you can utilize to an extent. Now, if some of the intensified work that comes in where animal sacrifice is required, I would always recommend you go to somebody that's skilled or initiated in the art of the knife. All right, because I wouldn't recommend doing that type of work if you have not been trained in it. But as far as working with the sigils of some of these Paulo deities, carrying out certain rituals, veves, all that, yes, you can definitely utilize that. You can set up shrines, altars, and work with them, on a particular level, even work with some of the herbs, etc. But there's got to be an understanding of that. I'm saying that because even when Priestess was talking about Obeah earlier, it's one of those paths that you really got to have a understanding. You can work with it. You do not need to be initiated to work with anything. You just need to understand the approach. It's very important, especially with Paulo, because I see a lot of people get themselves fucked up, start working with energies like that they're not ready for. I would suggest you go, if you get a chance, Crystal, if you have not seen them 2 videos, they're very lengthy. I did one on Palo Monte, one on Palo Mayembe to kind of explain those differences, and I went through things in detail for the sake of time. If you get some chance, I think it will answer the majority of your questions. And Priestess, if anything you want to add to it, go ahead.
Oh no, you answered it all. I don't have not one goddamn thing to answer. You know what I'm saying? You said it all.
All right. So So I see she types in, no animal sacrifice. Yeah. So just you don't have to work with the animal sacrifice. You can get results, Crystal.
Yeah, they can be a devotee. They can be a devotee where they just work with the lighter aspects of it, and it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, if they decide to go to a house, they're gonna have to deal with those aspects of it. You understand? Because understand that systems like Paulo, Voodoo, and these are heavy systems. Santeria. These energies are real. And they're live and they're powerful. And if you don't know what you are doing, you can bring grave harm to yourself.
That's right.
So it would be wise to investigate them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're really not for everybody. Because we've seen plenty of people died, got maimed, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You really have to know what is your objective that you are trying to achieve, where you feel you need to bring out the big guns. You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes your objective can be achieved in different ways. These are really the heavier, darker left-hand path. And you really got to be, prepared if you decide to go this route. Okay,
Crystal, I just saw Raymond had brought to the attention, I guess. Okay, so you're on.
That's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, well, hopefully that answers it. All right. Hopefully that kind of
I know the Priestess may have to go as well. Oni had one. I just want to go ahead and just hit Oni's, and if we need to wrap it up, we wrap it up. But Oni was her question was that she has Mars in the 11th and 12th house in Sagittarius. Any info on that?
Well, Mars in the 12th house. I know the 12th house is ruled by Pisces, and the 11th house.
I'm sorry, Priestess. The 12th house is Sagittarius, and the 11th house is Mars. My apologies.
Okay, she got Sagittarius in the 12th house.
Yes.
And Mars in the 11th house. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Mars in the 11th house again. That energy of Mars, and it's in the house. The 11th house is ruled over by Aquarius, which deals with group, and that's basically on a spiritual level, not to be a bully. You know what I'm saying? Not not to be so aggressive if you don't get your way. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting the energy of like manipulations. You know what I'm saying? These are the aspects that you want to watch for, you know? And also for Sagittarius being in the 12th house, this is a house ruled by Pisces, the house of undoing. You know, the Sagittarius, they're really here to, you know, to live life to the fullest. But with that Sagittarius being in the 12th house, you might want to put on a seatbelt, you know, because there's such a thing as overindulgent to where it comes to a point where you end up dissipating your batteries. You know what I'm saying? You want to not use up so much of your life force in this Sagittarian energy of just freedom. Because what it is with the Sagittarius is they really need to learn boundaries. And in that 12th house, you don't want to undo yourself. You know what I'm saying? And also it has to do with collecting a lot of knowledge. You understand? That is also the house of Jupiter that rules over spirituality, and in the 12th house, Neptune. So that is also talking about her getting into the spiritual aspects of life, into like maybe like the metaphysics.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? She might want to study something like esoteric knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Something like the Kabbalah. You know what I'm saying? That type of energy.
And I always recommend that as a good starter point, Priestess. I tell people that's a great,
excellent starting point.
Excellent. I got a question from TalkShoe chat. Again, I want to shout out to everybody on Instagram. I know we just started the page and Facebook, and people been hounding our ass to get on Instagram and Facebook, and we only been on there for like a week and a half or something like that, and we're getting a lot of support. We did a little live earlier today, so I'm occasionally going to go on there and just do these little lives, but I appreciate everybody on Instagram, Facebook. I know some of you saw the posting of this show tonight there, so, you know, look for connections there. So this is from a question from the radio TalkShoe. She says, Priestess, my daughter was born, June 6th. I believe she put 06, but I'm going to say, I think that's got to be a mistake because she's going to be some old ass motherfucker born in 06. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of 1906. My bad. Scratch that.
Oh my God.
Playing tricks on
them Geminis, those old Geminis.
All right, hold on. Let me just tell this caller to hold on. Caller, just hold till we finish this question. I'm going to keep you on hold and we'll get you in, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the question on TalkShoe was, Priestess, we'll just take a couple more and let you go. I don't want to hold you too late. She says, my daughter was born June 6, 2006, and she is very empathetic, very, very interesting energy, empathic.
Well, first of all, what I would tell her immediately when I see her, that her daughter is definitely a child of Yemaya. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
with all that empathetic energy, she wants to work with some energy to ground her. You know what I'm saying? Because she can become too empathetic to where she takes on other people's energy. And if, you know, if they're depressed and she gets depressed, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
With her, I would really recommend like getting a red string Kabbalah bracelet on the left hand that's been pressed. And also like maybe a piece of amethyst jewelry. You know what I'm saying? To protect her aura. Okay. Because really the energy that I'm picking up, that is definitely, even though she's an air sign, that is definitely a daughter of Yemaya. That water type with all that empathy. You know what I'm saying? So she's going to have to do some work to shield her aura. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Aura is not fierce, especially young, even though she's young, people will be drawn to her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And feed on her energy. So she needs to do energy to shield up that shield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hopefully that answers your question. Caller, we got you on the call now. Where you calling from? What's your name?
This is Suzette again from California.
Suzette from California. We got you. Go ahead.
I called earlier and I asked a question about the witch, and I think the priestess answered my question, but it was going in and out, so I'll just catch that on the replay. But my question is, I want to ask the priestess about, because I'm starting on this path, and the first thing I want to do is work on myself. It's kind of like two parts to the question. One, the first question I want to ask is, I had an abortion. I don't know if anybody on the line has asked this question, but I never really dealt with that. And I never told my mom. I never told my dad. My dad would have effed the dude up, but I only told one person, my friend, a friend that I've had since the 5th grade. So I wanted to know how to, because I believe that because I never properly dealt with it, it's something that's always been something troubling to me, but it was just put back in the back burner. But I think that it comes up because I believe that the child was a boy. And I believe that it was confirmed because a few years ago, I placed an order at Target, and it was like for random stuff. And they sent me a baby's jacket, and the jacket was blue. And I never got rid of that jacket.
Okay. Well, first of all, I share the same experience with you. I've had some abortions while you have had one. Okay. I'm going to tell you.
And I don't have any children. I don't have any children.
Right. But I'm going to tell you, because as I hear you're talking, I hear still the hurt and the pain in your voice. Okay. The first thing you're going to have to do is to release that. And what you're going to do is to do a ritual for that child that you aborted. Because I'm going to share a story with you. When I first got initiated, I never told the priest that I had any abortions. And he said to me, he looked at me, he said, you know, those children that you aborted, he said, do you constantly find yourself falling downstairs, cutting yourself with knife and stuff? And I said, yeah. He said, well, the children you aborted are pissed off at you. You know what I'm saying? And I had to go and do a ritual with those children. You understand? Meaning that whether you go to the ocean and write a letter to the child saying that you're sorry, you understand? It is your choice. It was your choice, because sometimes we're not ready to be a parent yet, and that's okay. The Great Mother don't judge on that, you know, because actually in ancient times there was holistic ways of aborting children by taking a herb and losing the child. But you're going to have to do a ritual, whether you go to like a park, or if you have a tree, dig a hole and bury. You say it was a boy, so more than likely it was, and bury, you know, it. Write a letter and bury it in the earth with like maybe a toy car. You know what I'm saying? A small stuffed animal. And just tell that child that, look, I am sorry. I am sorry I aborted you. I was young. I was not ready to be a parent. And guess what? I'll see you in the next lifetime. And I love you and I release you.
And forgive yourself for that.
And you have to forgive yourself for that. You understand? Because until you do that ritual, that child is going to be around you, that spirit. So you have to release him, okay? And forgive yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then my second question was, I heard you speak about when you're choosing a path, like if you're choosing a path of Luciferianism or Satanism. My question is, because I'm not trying to dive into that yet, because I'm still working on self. I want to do that first. But do you think that the path will reveal itself when you're working on yourself?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. You know what I'm saying? You start out working on yourself by getting to know yourself. And I always tell people, when they come up through the ranks, start out with Wicca first. You understand? Because Wicca is going to give you like the crystals, the herbs, and you know, the waxing, waning of the moon and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Where you learn the basics. And then you go from there if you want to develop, if you want to delve further, because you can stay in Wicca, because actually Wicca is not as weak as people think it is. You understand what I'm saying? But it is the first system that if people want to learn about the occult to come up through. to learn the very basics.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then from there, you know, pay attention to your dreams. What resonates with you? Does the Loa, the Ankisi, the Orisha, Luciferianism? Because when you're dealing with Luciferianism and Satanism, understand that is where you embrace godhood. You are sovereign. You understand? There is no God ruling over us. You feel me?
Mhm.
It is your will. You understand? So, you know, begin there and, you know, continue doing the work on self-meditate, learning the basics, working with crystals. You know what I'm saying? What energies are you working with? You know what I'm saying? Work with your energies first. Like if you're a Virgo, you might need to learn how to work with the earth.
I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a book that's written by Aleister Crowley. I'm not telling you to get that book because it's really for the adepts, and it's called Liber 777. Sagittarius, they are water of fire. So your element you're dealing with is fire and water. You know, I have a Sagittarius daughter where a lot of her messages she gets while she's in the shower. Okay, so learn how to connect with the water type energy and the sun and fire type energy. You understand? Because you're a water of fire. So those are your elements that you're dealing with.
Yes.
Okay. And then I thank you, Priestess, and I just have to leave this on a funny note, because when I watch your videos and you say that people pinch their nipples and you when they get excited when they come in your house and see your book, your energy just pops off of that screen and you have me cracking up.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you.
I love the messages that you are teaching. I love it. And I hope that Brother Beniti brings you on more often.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, yes.
Definitely. Most definitely. So I swear I'll just sit back and take a beating like I have been all night on the chin.
I'm glad you learned your place.
Oh, this one here. All right. You see, I see. I'm just gonna.
You got like that bathroom? You like that bathroom, Priestess? Yeah. We running this tonight.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything. Anyway. But Suzette, do you have any other questions or?
Oh no, that was it. I can't wait to listen to the replay so I can hear everything that was going on tonight.
Yeah, as soon as we're done, it uploads. Just give it a few minutes. It'll be there posted, and you'll be able to catch everything.
Yeah, man. Nice.
Peace, everybody.
Yeah.
Peace.
I like this vibe, man. I took a couple of shots of rum before I came.
All right. And I don't know if there's anything else. Again, Priestess, when you're ready to go, you just.
I think Bafa had something. One more.
I want to hold you. Go ahead.
Priestess Auset.
Yeah.
We were talking about the birthdays and the life path number. Okay, mine is I was born January 19th, 1966. And when you add it, it comes out to a 33. And
oh, that's a master number. Oh, you already know. You listen, hey, that's a crone energy, man. Come on. You are, I mean, look at you. For years, I've looked at you. I'm like, look at her embracing all of this stuff. And it would make sense. It's a 33. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, honey. Oh, please. You don't, hey, listen, what can I tell you? There's nothing I can tell you. You've been here so many thousands of years, man.
Wow.
Listen. Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah. That's the ascended master, you know, that 33. That's the highest degree. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, you're right there at the top, you know?
Okay. And also, I wanted to let you know, too, okay? My sun is Capricorn Aquarius. My moon is Capricorn. And my rising is Virgo.
Oh, that's a lot of heavy energies. Yeah. You know?
No wonder I went through a lot when I was young.
Yeah, because see, people didn't understand you because it was like you came here as an elder. You understand what I'm saying? You was always an old soul and they couldn't understand you. And I'm just glad that you embraced all the aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's you know, it's not us, but it's the people around us. that when they see what we're walking with, they become so intimidated and scared that they try to ostracize. And it's like, listen, I'm not here for your validation. You know what I'm saying? Just wave at the queen when she passed by.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Priestess.
Yeah, man.
All right, Priestess. Since I've been taking it on the chin, I'm gonna give you mine. All right.
Right.
All right. June 10th, 1971.
35.
On a Thursday at 9:45 a.m.
Okay, so June 10th night, and you know it's funny. My children's father, he was June 13th, 1971. So your Chinese animal sign is a pig. You know what I'm saying? And this is your year, baby.
Go ahead.
Year. The pig is about money and wealth. This is your year. We're in the year of the motherfucking pig. And you're what, June 10th? June 10th?
Yes.
Okay. So you're dealing with that energy. You're doing right what you're supposed to be doing. You're here to basically do your own thing. You can't be a follower. And see, within you, it's a lot of creative energy. Now, you said they initiated you in Oshun. I'm seeing that Oshun, but who was your head? Your matron?
Ogun.
Ogun. Okay. Okay. So you working with that? You sure they did Ogun?
Yes.
Because I'm seeing some Shango around, you know.
Well, see, it's funny. It's funny you say that because when I went before the Babalawos, everybody thought I was Shango before I went before the Babalawos.
Yeah.
But it came out to be Oshun and Ogun and then Paulo at Sarabanda.
Okay. Yeah. Because you know, sometimes with that, like Ogun might walk heavily, Shango might walk heavily with your Ogun.
Well, here's the thing. My son is Shango. He's a Scorpio. My oldest son.
And see, what will happen is when the Ogun sit down, then the Shango come in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's
a lot of Shango energy around you.
Well, that's what the Babalawas told me, that Shango and Shango walk side by side with my Oshun. That was something that was told years ago. So it's funny they detected the same thing, but everybody thought I was Shango before I actually went before the three Babalawas and had my Orishi pulled. Everybody swore it was Shango, and my godmother did too at the time. And then they told me it was Oshun, and I mean I know it is Oshun from the stuff that I did. But no, but anyway.
You definitely have the male virility, sexuality thing there going on. You know what I'm saying?
Don't blow his head up. Don't blow his head up.
You know, yeah. But, I mean, that, again, going back to that number, that goes back to a number one. And, in the title, the number one deals with the energy of the magician. You know what I'm saying? You are a magician. You can work with all elements. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, wait a second. Now y'all leaving me out. Can I get
go
one
ahead,
in?
You next. Go
Can
ahead.
I get one in? I'm on one. Okay, I'm September 4th, 69. Born on Thursday.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're born on Thursday. Your guardian angel is Metatron. You know what I'm saying? So working with that Metatron energy, and again, listen, that number 4 energy, you really got to work with that energy because that energy is very heavy. And it even though it's an energy of responsibility, but it's also prone to depression. You know what I'm saying? So you got to work to lighten up that energy. So it's not so. It's like Beyonce. She's September 4th. And you see, she fell down.
Yeah, that hoe had to come behind me.
She fell down and got the flight of stairs and got up and kept going on. That's the number also of the workaholic. Sometimes you got to know how to have fun. You know what I'm saying? You can't always be so serious. You got to know how to, work with that water energy because see that Virgo and that number 4 is too heavy ass energy. You understand? Yes.
Yeah.
To work with some water type energy, like maybe even like Yemaya. You know what I'm saying?
Well, funny you mentioned that because I was told I need to do work with y'all. Somebody told me they ain't gonna name no names.
Why don't you say who
I ain't gonna name no name.
You know what?
I ain't gonna name.
Go ahead and say.
And you know what? It's true because the colors that I see around you is blue and white. And I see the water. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to do some water energy just for you to recharge your batteries, because you give a lot. And
I do give a lot.
you can deplete yourself. So you need to take time out and to recharge your battery.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yep.
Raven, take a lap. We're gonna just shoot 2 more at you, man, because you guys,
Okay, that's fine.
don't be sucking all Priestess's energy, man. She's dropping jewels on you, man. You can't get this shit anywhere else. But anyway,
Nowhere else.
why don't you give a gypsy goddess and Crystal Hopkins? We'll kind of finish with that.
What was the question?
Okay, so I thought you saw Crystal Hopkins, and then we'll do gypsy goddess. She says she just got the date, June 28th, 1968.
June 28th, 8 plus 2 equals 10. Damn, that's a lot of 10 in here.
I know, I see that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean,
We got that raw power up in here tonight. Okay.
yeah. And then see, she got that number 8. That number 8, what I look at is you're dealing with 2 different energies. You're dealing with the high priestess and you're dealing with the energy of Ishtar. That number 8 is about manifestation. You know what I'm saying? And, and when you bring them together, that 8 plus 2 equals 10, again, it is about standing on your own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? You are here to be independent, but using that energy of the shadow side of the high priestess. When you go back to the tarot card, that number 2, she's the high priestess. And when you're dealing with 8, we're dealing with the strength. You know what I'm saying? So you also have an aspect of healing. You know what I'm saying? And what I see with her is working with the Sumerian goddess or the Babylonian Ishtar, is dealing with some of that energy. She might want to research like Ishtar.
Okay.
That's number 8.
All right, and then the last one, gypsy goddess, May 17th, 1976, on a Monday, full moon.
Okay, well, Monday, first of all, her guardian angel is Gabriel. And Gabriel deals with the energy of the family, with love and compassion and all of that. And, you know, the number 17, again, it goes back to the number 8. That is the number of manifestation. And, about that that number right there, you are here to leave behind a legacy. Whether you get a wing of a hospital donated in your name, or you create a scholarship fund where underprivileged children go to school to learn about the arts, you know, you are really here to manifest something that you are going to be known for, even if it's in a smaller sphere. You know what I'm saying? And also, I think with that number set, what I'm seeing around her right now, I'm seeing like her guardian angel is really looking to connect with her. She really got to do some work in connecting with Gabriel. It's funny because I got a gargoyle, a huge ass gargoyle outside my door. When I did channeling, I was like, what is the name? And the name given to me was Gabriel. So right now with her, what I see is working with her her particular guardian angel and her spirit guide. And I don't know, but I'm picking up some Aquarius energy too. There is some Aquarius energy that's around her, but really she needs to be working right now with her primary guardian angel, which is Gabriel.
Okay. Cool.
I asked one question.
Go ahead.
Priestess, I said, Mama, what do you think about Baphomet?
Okay, so nigga, we got plenty of time. Why you tripping? You can calm yourself down.
I'm about to go to bed. I'm about to go to bed.
With his do-rag on like he want to fight somebody. You make me reach under my mattress, okay? You already know.
Mama.
Yeah.
Priestess, I said, what do you think about the symbol Baphomet?
Oh, well, you know, I had a Baphomet altar for many years. I love motherfucking Baphomet because, first of all, in ancient Kemet, Baphomet was a goddess of agriculture before she got assigned to spirituality. And really, Baphomet is about embracing the male and the female aspect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because Baphomet, you know, really is that shadow side of dealing with both light and dark. You understand? Yeah, honey, please. They have just demonize Baphomet and all kind of fuckery around Baphomet.
Okay.
But she was a principal. Yeah, she was a principal deity of sexuality. You know, Baphomet, if you ever seen the movie the video Disturbia with Rihanna, that's Baphomet. That's a Baphomet energy. You know what I'm saying? And really, Baphomet is one of our goddesses that deals with the shadow aspect of self, what that deals with like sex magic, embracing the darker aspect of self, and even with the Baphomet, she is a Luciferian energy. You know what I'm saying? Lucifer, who's also a female, because I hate when they refer to Lucifer as a male, because no, she's a female that comes to liberate you from spiritual ignorance, but she has an energy like Lilith. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I got a big picture of her on the wall. What do you think?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Now I got other people getting Baphomet. They taking Jesus down and they putting Baphomet up on the wall. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but they got to be ready for Baphomet's energy. They got to be ready for Baphomet's energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because Baphomet ain't no light energy. You can't come to Baphomet with no fluff bunny shit.
No, and there you go.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, you can't, because everybody loves. That's a whole other story with people turning it into some fucking deity worship. But I'm glad you broke that down too. All right, so I think what we're gonna do, we covered a lot. I will be here all night if we try to get to everybody.
Yeah, we try to get.
But we're gonna get you back here. We'll get you back here soon. You know where her channel's at. Go on her channel. You can find her, contact her if you want to reach out to her. No, we'll get together. We like to have you come on, regularly, get you on here when you can come on.
Yeah, well, you have my number, my info. So whenever you want me to come on, just hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Next time I come on, I'm gonna have a few drinks because this is
Yes, Priestess.
Don't worry about here. You can be yourself here. We don't give a shit.
Right.
Oh, and before you go though, Priestess, if you just can give everybody all of your contact information, whatever services you offer.
Okay.
And then give a closing statement, whatever you want to say in closing.
Okay. My contact information is at tiamat@gmail.com. And really, they can Google me, Priestess Auset Ra Amen.
Comes right up.
Box, and it'll bring me up. That is my page on Witchbox where all my services are listed. You know what I'm saying? And I help to empower people. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're ready for the energy. You understand what I'm saying? That's it. And the closing statement, we're at the precipice right now of the Great Awakening. And it's just time for everybody to get off their ass and to embrace their divine spiritual birthright, whatever the hell that is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Always remember to thine own self be true. It does not matter your path, what you got to be true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because especially when you go into these paths, let me tell you something. If you ain't real, spirit will expose your ass. You know what I'm saying? You got to be real and you got to be authentic. It's a lot of work, but trust me when I tell you it is worth it.
Big time. And again, I want to thank you. You touched on some key points. And the good thing, again, not to make it a male-female thing, it's good feminine energy tonight. Raw feminine. I'm glad a lot of people were able to call in and kind of talk about some of the things that they talked about. And again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you spending. We'll never get you back.
With that male and female energy, what men got to understand, you understand that the reality, this is not about male or female. This is about balance.
Exactly.
Now, what it was when the male gods, Marduk, Enki, and them decided to go to war with the divine matriarch, and they overthrew the matriarch and committed the first matricide. This is why we're here. And so when you see a lot of these Hotepians and Hebrew Israelites running around, wanting to fight everybody and all of this stuff, you're in opposition to the divine matriarch. I have my place, you have your place, and you got to be in balance and alignment. Because let me tell you something, when that big fat ass great mother get up off her ass and walk through this bitch. If you ain't in alignment, you getting 2-piece. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be in alignment with your inner goddess. You know?
And we will see you soon, Priestess. Thank you. Have a good night. Well, I'll give you a call tomorrow, and then we'll see when we get you back on.
And Boffa, link up, man. Link up, sister. Link up. All right.
All right. All right, everybody. Peace.
Yeah, man.
Peace.